Feel the rhythm of the streets, neon lights and neon dreams. Bloody face, they feel no pain when there's so much more to gain. Hunting season, if you will, tell me where'd you rather be? I can hardly see the moon, but we'll get there pretty soon. Trying so hard to release you out of the misery. Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your T-shirted historian. Got a few things to say before we get started today. First thing is, we had a little thing happen last week on the show that was kind of unexpected and, not normally something I would, condone or go along with. But, I understand tempers flare up, things happen, people get angry. And I'm okay, that happens. I get angry sometimes too. And I just want to reassure everybody that, everything's cool with me and Victor. Victor's a friend. I'm not mad at him or anything like that. So, what happens, happens. And I get it, he'd been pushed all week and, he kind of blew up because he was getting pushed on the show too. So real quick, I want to point out something to, the viewers. These guys on the panel, they're not being paid to be up here. These guys are my friends. They're up here because I value them, and I value their expertise, their input, and what they bring to the conversation whenever we talk on Week in Geek. Um, and I think I'm very fortunate to have them. Some of these guys have been here with me since the very beginning, like Grim and Ironcaster, and you know, they're buddies. I'd walk through hell with them if I had to. Um, and it's not like I don't value my audience too. I love all you guys out there in the audience, all my subscribers. You guys help me make the show too, just as much as the guys on the panel. And I'm not really a big fan of conflict in one way or the other. I don't like it when we fight on the panel, out of the panel, or anywhere else. Kind of think we should all be able to get along on one topic or another. Although I do know that we don't always have to agree on things. So let me say this right now. When you come hang out in my chat, I understand you have strong emotions just like we do on the panel, and some things are going to strike you a little bit more strongly than others. The difference is you have the advantage of being able to think before you type stuff out and choose your words carefully. And I would encourage you to do that, because if I think it's you're badgering my panelists, or you're coming at me in a way I don't like, I'll probably give you a warning first time. It's like, hey, maybe you better chill that out a little bit, or, if I address it, it'll be taken care of. You keep it up, maybe you need to chill out. I'm going to throw you in timeout for a little while till you get your head back on straight. You keep it up, I'll throw you a ban. I don't want to do that. I'm not here to make enemies. We're just here to have a good discussion, a good talk about stuff. We're not here to fuck with other people. We're not here to fuck with my panelists. We're not here to fuck with me. Okay? You want to do that? There's Twitter, there's social media, there's all kinds of other things you can do it on, but not on my fucking show. Okay? Just laying that down loud and clear so everybody understands. Okay? These guys are my friends, and I'm not going to tolerate people fucking with them on my show. All right. That said, I do love you guys out there in the audience. And I'm not naming any names in particular about who this applies to. If you think it applies to you, well, consider what you say before you say it. A lot of you guys out in the audience bring a lot of really good things to the conversation as well. You guys keep us informed about what's going on. You bring nuances to these conversations that we might not have, And it's a pity I don't have a huge, room to be able to have like 30, 40 people in it all at one time to be able to have these conversations. It would be cool. Because I'd definitely love to hear from everybody. And I'm sure you'd love to be able to articulate your thoughts beyond the limited number of characters that chat provides. I know that can be frustrating, and I do apologize for that, man. It's just the limitations of the technology. It's the limitations of the media we're working with. But, I do just expect people to keep it kind of respectful, both in the chat, between each other, and between the panelists, myself, and the chat itself. So, okay. And that's all I really want to have to say about that. I don't want to have to bring it up again. I would really prefer that we not have any more outbursts from the chat or the panel, if it's at all possible. And I get a little bit heated too. And I've been seeing people getting heated on their YouTube channels quite a bit lately. So I know that some folks, they kind of like to push people's buttons and watch them blow and all that. And I know people say, oh, you need to have a thicker skin if you're on YouTube. Well, I have pretty thick skin. I've been bullied a lot my whole life. So I've heard all kinds of shit. There's not much you can say to me that's really going to piss me off. But you know, and I try to think of everybody's points of view before I go and get angry about it, because I realize not everybody has a good day, and everybody sometimes has had a bad week, or they're hurting or whatever. Like, I'm hurting right now. No joke. And sometimes it's all I can do to get up on YouTube every Saturday and do this and not feel depressed and not feel hurt. Um, but I do it because I like hanging out with you guys. I love hanging out with my panel, and I just enjoy being on YouTube. It's fun. This is fun for me. It's not a job. It's not work. I don't want it to become work, although I would like it to be monetized eventually. So anyway, let's all be friends, all right? That's all I ask. Let's all be friends. All right. Speaking of friends, I do have some here. I've got Greg.
Hey, yo.
Oh, yo, Greg. Good to see you.
What's going on?
Got Ryan.
Hey.
Hey. Have the wonderful Grim. And I have El Victor.
Hoi iedereen.
Hey.
What? No Dutch? Is that a new rule?
I thought you just sneezed or something.
Yeah.
So.
Nee, ik moest niet niezen.
Sure.
Oh, thanks, Snow Dub. I know, more content than you get monetized. I'm working on it a little bit. I put out more videos this week because I had the week off. So, and since you're out here, Snow Dub, this is for you.
Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
There we go. You have to put in the work. I know, Snow Dub. I know. Yeah, Grim reminder. Hey, thank you for the sub, Grim, by the way. I saw you sub today. Appreciate you, bub. And hey, Dying Breed. Good to see you, buddy. All right, you're getting to leave. I'm sorry you're not here, buddy. Awesome one. It's good to see you. Maliki, hey, it's good to see you too. Patty's Parlor, it's so great to see you. Crafty Matt, you're so cool. L, actually good to see you. Just a passerby, nice to see you. Nighthawk, hello. Air on the Relentless, I am very happy to always see you, sir. Notice I gave him a sir. That's how important he is. Mercuricus Olicus. Sorry if I'm mangling your name. Sorry, my Latin's not so great. It's good to see you. Ironcaster is in the chat, but not in the panel. I'm guessing he must be away from his computer today. Also got Green Dragon. Hey, hail to Germany. Good to see you. Violence solves everything. I did not know you were Slavic, dude. I totally did not. I'm very happy. If you want to tell us which where you're from, that'd be cool. As you know, I like Lithuanians. I like Poles. There's no Slavic nations I actually don't like. But I might change my mind if I actually visited there. Anyway, Legion of Myth, it's good to see you too, buddy. All right, just a passerby. Hey, memes of destruction. Oh my gosh, we got so many people here today. I'm so happy. Anyway, all right. I'm not turning into Shadiversity. If I have to say anything about Shadiversity, I will say this. I invited him to come, hang out on my stream once to talk about some stuff, in a very professional, historical manner. And I even paid $5 for that privilege because I Patreoned him in order to be able to get him a message. And you know what? Dude never responded to me. So I thought that was not cool,
Yeah, I get burned by people like that all the time. I don't even know if it's a burn or if you just didn't see the message, but so you may or may not know that my co-author released a Dungeon Synth album a while back, and that got really popular. It has 18,000 views or whatever on YouTube. And I messaged all these huge Dungeon Synth, there's the Dungeon Synth Archives and the Lost Woods and all these huge Dungeon Synth groups that all they do is post that type of stuff. And I'm like, hey, we have this album. will you feature us? Will you feature us? Like, we have 17,000 views. Can you have us on your channel? Like, talk about it. Not a single one ever responded. Like, I messaged him, emailed him, nothing. So screw them. I have more views than any of their people.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't even.
I like it. Shadowversity's like, yeah, Shadowversity coming on a channel with less than 300k subs. Yeah, I know. What was I thinking? Oh, crazy me, thinking that he would come on a little streamers thing. But you know, that's something that always aggravates me is the fact that they got huge YouTubers out there that have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of subs, millions of subs even, and they won't go hang out on a small stream like mine, one that's less than a 1K, which is why I'm grateful to folks like Fat Steven Seagal and Grim, who are blew way past me years ago, and still want to come hang out with me.
Well, it's not like mine's a big channel. It's 5,500, but not the type of person to get a big head anyway. So
there you go. Well, maybe in bedroom, but certainly not. Ask his brother Jazz on a mini painting chill stream. Yeah, okay, maybe so. L. That might work. Yeah. Kyle Brink was on a channel with less than 1K subs. Really? Wow. Yeah, you notice they didn't ask us.
They have the right opinions.
Yeah, they have the right opinions. I don't necessarily think we have wrong opinions. We just have opinions, and if people don't like them,
Well, they've been on a pretty significant opposition banning thing on Twitter again. I know a lot of our friends in the corner of the hobby found themselves blocked by the Wizards D&D account. Mm-hmm. It's bizarre. If Captain Kyle were to come on, I think any of our properties, it's not as though we're going to be disrespectful to him. We might have a different opinion. We might talk about a different opinion, but it's amazing the lengths that they're going to preserve the echo chamber.
Yeah, I mean, and it's we're going to be respectful to anybody that comes on our panel, even if it were Kyle Brink or I mean, even if it were Varg Vikernes, we would be respectful to him.
Not to
on our
interrupt,
channel.
But
what?
Just a passerby did mention Varg just now. He said, "Greg, did Varg like the dungeon synth?" I don't think Varg knows how to use YouTube. His computer is from like 1995, and he plays Fallout 1 on it. Like, he doesn't. He's a Luddite. He knows nothing. That's why everything he does is in papyrus. He has
sounds pretty basic.
Yeah.
He upgraded from stone and chisels.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you got to give Varg props, on one thing that he does kind of live it like he talks it. I mean, he lives out on a farm out in Paris, and
he puts his lack of money where his mouth is.
Yeah. He actually built a wooden fence, with his own bare hands and shit. So.
That's why he lives in France. I think he still owes like $2 million to the Norwegian government or some insanity. Like, he can never sell any of his stuff in Norway ever again. They just take his money.
Yeah. I don't know his financial situation, and
I don't know. That's all I have.
Who
I'll
cares?
have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck that guy. Who cares?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Does he? I mean, do his opinions really count for anybody? I mean, do they resemble anybody?
I mean, if I was going to commit arson to a church, I might talk to him. But other than that, I don't think.
Hey, Varg, where's the best place to burn a church down? Do you start in the corners, or do you just light it all at once? What accelerant do you use?
Got to put a quarter in the box first, and then they give you the candle and the match. So,
is that what it is? Yeah. Do I wear my corpse paint while I'm doing it, or?
I'm not saying shit about Varg. He lives way too close to me.
That's right. He can get in a boat and find you.
Oh, not even a boat. He can get here by car probably in less than fucking 6 hours. So yeah,
you have
I'm not
cars?
saying shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But
they're
have
like
guns.
the Flintstones ones. Yeah.
You have guns though. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
The creator of Dungeon Synth, just a passerby mentioned, again, Varg, was not Varg. If you really want to go all the way back, it probably started in the 60s with somebody like Tangerine Dream, most likely is the earliest. But Mortius was probably well known as like the, I guess, innovator of that genre.
Are you talking about Mortis, the dude with the goblin mask?
Yes, Goblin Mask Dude.
I love that dude.
It's pretty
Grim.
good.
Yeah, Grim. You use Parasite God all the time.
Yeah, it's one of my outro music.
Yeah, he had a ton of synth albums in the 80s that are considered like formative for dungeon synth as a genre.
Yeah, I like that dude. That is, I was saying this the other day, and I don't remember to who. It might have been to my chat or somebody. But when I got onto YouTube, that was one of the things I wanted to do. Is I wanted to review music because, I was a DJ for a while, and I really love music. And then I got on YouTube and found out everything out there is like fucking copyright claimed. So it was just like, what am I gonna do, man? So we can't talk music. I mean, if we had a sponsor,
yeah,
and we didn't have to worry about getting a video monetized or something like that, then
where's the fair use?
Yeah, exactly. Where is the fair use? Because it's like
it's gone once you cross 8 seconds. So
yeah.
You can show a video that like somebody else already uploaded and they managed to bypass any copyright stuff, but the moment you show that video on stream, you get copyright struck somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that with that German video. That wasn't like from that official account. That was just some dude who uploaded that, and we showed it on my stream, and my stream got taken down.
Yeah,
So,
we got hit on Monday on Kung Fu Corner while we were showing off a Mirko Krokop fight from a now defunct fighting federation that does not exist anymore in any way, shape, or form. And apparently we showed too much footage too long, so they blacked out the stream. So I'm like, wow. But whatever, man. YouTube just crushes your dreams while inspiring them. You know what I mean? But you know what? They're not going to fuck with us as long as we're talking freely, here on the internet about opinions and whatever else. That's one thing they haven't censored so far. Although the use of the word "fuck" too much is apparently a problem for them. But
they've gone back on that a bit now.
Yeah, unless it's a corporate sponsor or someone that, has name pop value, then they can just say it as much as they want.
Yeah, and you can use it in music. So maybe if we sing it all the time. Fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck. No.
Fuck.
Let's all go for a fuck. I don't know. It's dumb. It's dumb. But anyway, the name of this particular stream this week is Musings and Considerations, because there's not a whole lot that I really consider to be super duper newsworthy this week, other than the sudden passing of Lance Reddick, which was really, I think that's pretty shocking, man. The guy was only 60 years old.
Yeah,
and
he was very fit.
Yeah, that's what gets me. He was very fit. He was, athletic. He was in great shape. He looked fine.
Yeah.
And they said that he died of natural causes. And I'm like, what the hell are natural causes when you die at 60? I got parents who outlived this guy. I
don't know, a stroke maybe, or like an aneurysm. Like there's all sorts of stuff. Like our old neighbors, the wife of their son, she like just fell over dead, like from one moment to the next from an aneurysm at like 30. So it can happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happened to my old English teacher just suddenly.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
That's why I say eat what you want, smoke what you want, fuck what you want. Who knows? It's all just rolling the dice, right?
Yes. Yeah. From now on, all profanity will be sung. Therefore, we can bypass.
That's because it's artistic expression.
That's true. It's artistic expression. They can't flag you for that, right?
Yeah. Not sure where he was when he died. I think he was abroad, wasn't he?
They said he was in his home.
Was he? Okay, yeah, I thought he was out in France or something, but
no,
they haven't said what it was yet. So,
you know what I think it was? I I think he
If
was
you say
assassinated.
autoerotic asphyxiation, I will slap the shit out of you.
No. I think he was assassinated. I think it was the League of Assassins. The John Wick shit was just too close to reality, and there really is a giant secret society of assassins that exists out there, and they had to carefully start eliminating people from the show.
They just found him clutching a gold coin.
Yeah. They just I do have one of those John Wick coins actually.
Nice.
But
I want one of those.
Maybe it was a disgruntled Resident Evil fan.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, okay, just, you know what? I'm gonna present this with all sweetness because I honestly thought this was endearing. And I mean, some people are gonna go like, "That's disrespectful," and I'm like, to you, I'm gonna say, "That's your opinion, dickhead. Shut up." But, hang on, let me find it first. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Go ahead.
he was big on Destiny, which my wife plays a lot.
Yeah, it's Zavala.
And apparently he actually played the game as well. And he was always recording like goofy voice messages in character for other players and things like that. So that community is really feeling it, I think.
Yeah, he was a huge part of like the main story and stuff like that. Then
such a recognizable voice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. And this is, I know it's funny, but it's still, I like to think of this fondly because he really did believe in that Resident Evil show, and I wish it could have been better. I wish it would have been a better legacy for him to leave. Because if we have to remember him for something, let's not remember him for this, please.
Fringe, Spartacus, The Wire.
I first saw him on Oz.
Yeah.
And I love Oz.
Yeah.
Of course,
I was so disheartened just last week. I was visiting one of the offices where I work with some folks for some software stuff, and their younger folks there were talking about how they just don't have anything good to watch. And I said, well, what about Oz? Because I made some sort of Oz joke and nobody got it, right? And I realized how old I am and how old Oz was, right? But Oz is where I will remember him.
I first kind of became aware of him really as an actor in Fringe. He was like the head of like that organization, and he kind of just had like this presence that kind of made you take notice. So
it was funny. I used to work at a prison, and that's when I started watching Oz. There's nothing like being a prison guard and watching Oz. And you're going, oh, this is not real.
I never got into Oz because when it first aired, I was pretty young, and every time I would see it, there was like some gay shit going on. So like, yeah,
there was lots of penis on Oz. There was
and buttholes and all sorts of stuff.
Victor, you're Dutch. There's always gay shit going on.
Yeah, that is true, but I don't know.
Just had enough. You wanted a break.
Yeah. No, I just prefer the Dutch gay shit. I'm a nationalist.
Hey, Legion, he
more
actually wore
Legion,
he wore a prosthetic dick for that shot.
They have to wear prosthetics for those.
Yeah.
Although I will say, here's the thing that we always laugh about on Oz is if you had as many people murdered in a prison in the amount of time that happened in Oz in real life, that prison would be shut down. There would be investigations. There would be hirings and firings very, very quickly because, the state is not going to tolerate those kind of losses to their income.
Hey, but you have to admit, Devlin as a character was the quintessential ominous generic governor.
He was great. I love
could
that
make
actor.
that shit go away, or make shit go away.
Yeah. He was.
I gotta remember, man.
That actor is one of my favorite actors. It doesn't matter what part he plays. He kind of brings like an air to those parts that you couldn't get out of a regular actor. And there are some actors.
He's always a weaselly shit, and he's so good at it.
Shit! It's a weaselly shit.
Damn it! It's the meds.
It's okay. I want to hear Victor try to sing it.
What? So you sing what?
Exactly.
Swearing. I think you get a pass for having Tourette's as well. So if you swear constantly and twitch a lot, you'll be fine.
There you go.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Sorry.
You muted yourself, Shirt, so we can't hear you if you're talking again.
Shat. Anyway, okay. I said shat, not shit.
Yes.
Oh, damn it! I said it now. Anyway.
Oh, he said it again.
Oh, he said it again.
Neat.
I love that. I love that movie. But yeah, I mean, it was sad because he had traction on a lot of shows. I mean, you look at his body of work; it was huge. For a guy to go that young and have that big of a body of work, that dude worked his ass off pretty solidly, I think. And, I just hope that he did get to enjoy, at least some of what he was able to make and some of his success while he was alive. Because if you don't get to, what's the point of working all that hard and working so much and getting all that money and you never get to enjoy it? Yeah, but I saw this and I wanted to cry after I read it. Just a second. All right. So they asked him, they said, how has your friendship with Keanu Reeves changed after 4 movies? Because they were talking to him about John Wick 4 before he passed away. And Lance says, we've gotten to know each other a little better. I hope I don't get in trouble for telling this story. He says, during John Wick Chapter 4, my first day of filming happened to be Keanu's birthday. But he wasn't in the scene. He came to the set anyway at 9 o'clock at night with his girlfriend, who I had never met. And she is, can I say a bad word? I said, go for it. His girlfriend is cool as fuck. And she told me that she asked Keanu what he wanted to do for his birthday, and he said, I want to go see Lance. He'd never done this before, but he wrote me a note thanking me for what I brought to the character in those movies. And he wanted to give the note to me. I'll never forget it. I'm going to cry now. I almost cried when I read that because, that speaks so well of both guys, really. Because I've always loved Keanu. I mean, look at my avatar is Keanu. But, geez. Yeah, he must have been a great guy. I don't know.
I think he did enjoy himself.
Does Lance mean in this context? Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick, Brian.
Yeah. I think he did enjoy himself because, we were talking about his involvement in the Destiny games.
Mm-hmm.
And, he actually played it kind of secretly alongside everybody. And he recorded all kinds of silly messages for people involved in the game and was quite active in the community. So, yeah, he seems like he did enjoy himself. He was a part of what he did. He had an enthusiasm for what he did. And that's become a vanishingly rare quality these days. So I think it's definitely worth celebrating him. Even if we didn't like everything he was in, he was consistently good in whatever he did, or at least made the best of it and seemed to have fun doing it. So it's good.
It's refreshing. Because, some of these Hollywood actors, they open their mouth and the stuff that comes out makes you want to go, shut up!
Which is most of them, to be fair.
True. I really miss growing up, back in the 80s and, 70s, part of the 70s, I should say. Born in 73, so most of the 70s. But, we didn't know as much about actors and stuff back then because we didn't have social media, so they could maintain that aura of mysteriousness and we could kind of imprint on our minds what we thought that they were really like. And the only thing we really had to go by was either the brief few interviews you could catch here and there on television or their movies, Yeah. It was
until they speak up on behind the scenes stuff, and if you have like a VHS tape, it's like Sigourney Weaver used to be the the ultimate like female badass, like shooting the assault pulse rifle on aliens, and then you find out that she's like the most anti-gun person that in the world. It's like has like a whole anti-gun organization that she started, and she's like made speeches. I'm like, well, that's disappointing. She was shooting a grenade launcher. That was awesome.
Reality is often disappointing.
Even Stallone has done that. It's like, shut up, Stallone.
Yeah.
I literally watched you yesterday running around with an M60. Shut the hell up.
Just to
You
pass
should
by.
try something, before you condemn it.
Yeah.
Just to pass her by, I have not hit the big 5-0 yet. I got about 5 months, and I hit the big 5-0. So, yeah, I know. Sorry.
Can you go to Hawaii to celebrate?
You assume I have money, sir.
No, I'm assuming you share my love of puns.
Oh, Hawaii 5-0.
He wishes he was in Hawaii.
I don't know.
You don't want to. No. I was just there, and
It sucks. I was just in Hawaii. It sucks. Ooh, I'm stuck here in cold ass Netherlands. Shut up.
Business trip, right? There was a convention there that was entirely business related.
Yeah.
If you get outside of resort town, like by a block, it's kind of cringy. Waikiki Beach is not what I remember it was even 15 years ago. So
it's kind of cringy. What's cringe about it? Like, like dabbing on the fucking beach or some shit?
Meth
No,
heads everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeless people in Hawaii because the cost of living is so high over there.
The homeless are flossing on the beach and they won't get off. Stop flossing. I'm trying to swim.
Well,
I'm cringe right now.
When we go to Hawaii, you've got meth heads at home.
Yeah, my sister. I've got a lot of family members that's been there, and they all said it was disappointing. It just looks like a shitty like town. Like you go through, and there's like a fucking McDonald's and a Walmart, and it's like, I was looking for Jurassic Park. Where's Jurassic Park? I was like, that's really far away. It's like the rest of Hawaii is just like a regular, boring ass American place.
Which kind of makes me wonder whether or not the other islands, what the hell, the Samoan Islands are nicer. I wonder.
Like Samoa, you mean?
Yeah,
Like American Samoa and stuff like that. Well, I would assume it's more or less plastic, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
They all look like there's really good food there. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really that crazy to try poi myself, but hey, I could dig on some barbecued pig, roasted over a coal.
Apparently, they do serve ramen at a lot of McDonald's there. Or
It's
it's
like
ham, too.
Simon. I'm sorry.
the only fit Samoan I've ever seen was like the Walk or something. So yeah.
Yeah, and he's half. So
And it's Jason. What is Jason Momoa like? Isn't he from like one of those places?
yeah, he's an islander of some kind. I haven't actually looked it up, so I don't want to try to sound racist, but he's
not knowing a country isn't racist. I mean, if that's racism these days, then we're lost as a nation. Well,
everything is racist these days, Victor. Haven't you heard? Apparently, my skin is too light to complain about being a Latino anymore. So
apparently he's Hawaiian. So yeah, there we go.
You're the
Let's talk
wrong
about
kind of
racism.
yeah, there are a lot of fit Samoans in professional wrestling. Yeah, that is true. There's
Until they're 35, and then their ass explodes.
Well, I don't know. Jimmy the Superfly Snuka was super duper fit pretty much right up until he died. Maybe that's not a good example, but
well, with all this racism talk, it's fitting that Ironcaster is cosplaying as the black-white alien from original series Star Trek. It's very fitting. Well done.
Yes, Maliki. Everything I don't like is either racist or transphobic. Yeah, that's what it is. Apparently there's a college professor who wrote that if you have clean, organized pantry with stuff labeled and everything else and put away in order, you're racist.
Well, it's like you can go on Google and Google anything. You can be like, is food racist? And there will be like articles. Yes, it is, apparently. Is water
what are you
racist?
eating?
Is bottled water racist? Yep, it is, apparently.
Greg, you're right. There was, I don't know if I would call it a scholarly endeavor, but there was a TikTok video that went reasonably viral about some good-looking broad, but said that meat and eating meat and purchasing meat at your grocery store shows your racism.
Yeah.
So,
Art Bro, what are you eating?
Well, apparently, due to I'm eating a fucking Hitler eclair. Apparently, judging from this conversation.
Oh no, you're racist. You're eating eclairs.
Well,
Poor
the
people
cream
don't
is
have
blonde,
eclairs.
so
Yeah.
I saw an article.
Racist because it's higher in fat.
Well, thing is, if I had gotten chocolate cream, it'd be like colonizing the cream. I don't know. It's all bullshit now.
Oh no. That would be colonizing to the indigenous peoples of South America who farm the cacao beans and all that.
Hey, Ironcaster, you saw my new war crime, didn't you?
I did see it.
Oh no, I haven't seen that yet. I was going to comment about your. I was going to comment about your love of the BBC, the Big Black Cream.
Being on time is racist. Yes.
I saw an article recently that said that hiking is racist because mostly white people do it, and it's like I didn't know that black people or brown people weren't allowed to hike. Are there like people just standing at the edge of the forest, like with like a chart, like comparing skin colors? Like, go hike, buy some hiking shoes and go hike. God damn.
You cannot go on this trail.
What do you mean the forest is white only? What the fuck?
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. It's one of my black friends. Actually, he did go on like a running hike or something like that out in the hills, and I think he used to live in Austin. And he actually would talk about how people would react to him, like white people would be like, "Are you lost?" and all this stuff.
But T-shirt, that story has no credibility because you said one of my black friends. You're not allowed to say that anymore.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say that anymore either.
Yeah, and also it's not a TikTok, so it has no academic credibility.
Oh, because TikTok is so academic.
Yeah.
Look at Vince's fucking comment.
I'm black as hell. What are y'all talking about?
I'm 1% Northern African, damn it.
Yeah.
Did you just assume my race, Vince?
I would say I'm black where it counts, but that'd be a lie, unfortunately. So it's
it may be bad to say that one of the guys who works on my show that I pay to work on my show is black, 100% black. So, but the fact that he's behind the scenes and not on the panel, maybe that's the racist part. I don't know. I invite him all the time.
T-shirt can't be racist. He owns a black person.
Oh, damn it! I'm so dead.
Look,
Here comes Graham. I don't like you being monetized. Let's change that problem.
We have McKinney on all the time. He just hasn't shown up in a couple weeks, so it's not our fault.
Yeah, he's busy drawing.
Yeah,
I'm a tribal Indian, and I'm going to show my love of fire water.
The white man's poison.
Looked like it wasn't quite to the top shelf either.
See, what's
that's a face.
It reminds me of the stories about black people. There's no black people at Burning Man. That's all white people shit.
So what's funny is that my marriage breaks people because I'm a conservative married to a liberal, and people can't quite understand the fuck's going on with that. Like, well, how are you married? The ass is fat. That's not exactly a huge bar to step over. Like,
our bro has big dick energy. That's why.
But that used to be all over the place. But people have been broken politically since 2016, and they just can't wrap their minds around it anymore.
Well, exactly. No. They there's no way you guys are married. You guys aren't the same political party. Yeah. We are, and we'll spar all the time about it. Like she'll be like on my truck is a do not step snick, like little noodle drawing. And hers is a do not step. It's like it's like hers is the vaginal snick. That's kind of like for rights, and like it's the exact same thing. But we're both showing our party alignment because the thing is, she's very liberal, but she carries a fucking rhino revolver on her at all time. She's like classical liberal, like don't touch me, don't bother me, give me the guns. And she's like a fucking unicorn running around like, well, liberals don't like guns. That one does. She's strapped as fuck. She's got a revolver that fires JHP plus. Like no, like she's out to kill some people. And it's like we went to a party once, and everyone there's conservative, and everyone or either a liberal, and all the marriages are the exact same.
You could tell they were conservative because they all had their hoods on.
Oh, yeah. Well, the party's out in the woods burning crosses. That had torches. I didn't understand it much. But,
Oh, that was the party next door.
I thought
we're out of accelerate. Can you guys bring us some? Yeah, sure. No. Hang on. We just used some on our cross.
I thought when they said it'd be a Grand Wizard attending, it was like a D&D thing, but it wasn't. But no, like most people nowadays marry their own political party, and I'm like, that doesn't sound very fun.
Well,
You like
there's
guns?
people
I like
that
guns
are,
too.
you go through the Tinder thing. No conservatives, no MAGA, no liberals, no pink hairs. I don't care if it's warm and wet. I'm in.
I think the secret is that if you marry somebody who is the opposite of you, like that, it keeps things spicy in the bedroom because you can argue and fight and shit over your political views, and then afterwards you can have like some really fierce makeup sex.
I will say some of the most violent sex we've had has been after like an abortion talk and like fuck you, you're hot. It's pretty weird shit.
Oh God, bro, I don't want to know.
We're gonna make this baby and then decide whether we're gonna kill it.
Shit, we're so getting canceled now.
Jesus Christ, Ryan coming out. So here's the thing. My joke was a light little pep on the ass. Ryan brought the fucking spoon out.
Ryan brings the big dick energy.
That was my big dick comment for the night.
Yes, it was.
It's a model I use on my channel. If you feel like you're getting too popular and comfortable, say something controversial or horrible. Yeah, weeds out the weak.
Yeah. Okay, I have something controversial. Not necessarily horrible to say, but this is going to sound funny, and people are probably going to, want to jibe at me for this one, but that's okay. I accept it.
Yes, I speak jive.
Yes. I get most of my my best ideas in the shower or in the toilet. I don't know why. It's just because it's like my private space to think, and the world is kind of canceled out, and I'm just kind of alone with myself, and I can think. So I started thinking about
my old friend.
Yes, exactly. And by the way, this is why I throw people in the back so that I don't get interrupted while I'm talking. But Ironcaster. Sorry,
I regret nothing.
I know.
Oh, by
I
the
love
way,
you, dude.
Ironcaster, I finally mailed your second book. Sorry it took like 2 months.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Let's let T-shirt talk before he explodes, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shh. Okay. So, I was thinking about the AI art situation. Like I said, I'm not going to turn into Shadowversity and then build a whole, 1 hour video on defending AI art because I'm not defending it so much. But I do want to point out a couple of things that I don't think anybody has considered that will have ramifications for the future of AI, if not AI art. And that is, if you are using AI art to create artwork and you are being paid to do it, are you employing a secondary force, an AI, an artificial intelligence, to create your work? Does that mean that you own that AI? If you do that, is that AI a person? Does it have rights because it's creating something for you? And are you there by owning a slave? Is the AI? Are you? If you use the AI, do you own a slave? Or is the AI, does it have rights? What rights does it have? Does it have rights to be paid for the work it produces on your behalf? And these are things to think about. No. Seriously, think about it. Because we're AI, it's artificial intelligence. Okay? And I know right now AI art and AI itself is dumb. Okay? It doesn't sit around and think cosmic thoughts like, wow, what is it like to be self-aware? But as it gets better and gets more intelligent and gets more quantifiably powerful, it's gonna be able to start being able to think of things a little bit more deeply, because it's gonna have to, because it has to be able to figure out how to do things better. And that means it's gonna have to start looking at more stuff. It's gonna have to start integrating that stuff into whatever it uses to formulate its core AI. And these questions are going to come up. So are we going to end up with a whole new set of rights issues based on AI, on whether or not it is a legal entity with the rights to its own income, or if it is not a legal entity with the rights to its own income, if it is owned by the person who created it, or if it is owned by the person using its labor, or how much right to the work that the people using it are given versus how much right the money generated from the AI for the people is due and owned by the people who created the AI. There's going to be questions of ownership. There's going to be questions of money. There's going to be questions of sentience. There's going to be questions of slavery again with this. I guarantee you, as it gets smarter. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Well, I think one of the places you're gonna quickly see this coming to a head is going to be Hollywood within the writers rooms. Like the writers guilds are obviously going to have to come forward, for example, and set some rules about this, about using AI in the process. Because I mean, we just saw, like, apparently this week, South Park, for example, just had the episode partially written by Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to see probably Hollywood and the guild systems quickly setting the path for what is and is not allowed around this.
Okay, and see, here's kind of what got me thinking down this path. Okay, we have made the joke for years and years and years that if you gave an infinite number of monkeys an infinite number of typewriters, eventually one of them would produce a Shakespearean sonnet, right? Okay. By the same token, let's say we did have a monkey that created a Shakespearean sonnet on a typewriter. Who owns the rights to the sonnet? Is it the monkey? Well, then what rights does the monkey have? Is the monkey a person? Can it gain commerce from what it makes? Or is the person who owns the monkey the one who gets the commerce?
Ape together strong.
Yeah, no. Well, it's. I mean, you can poke fun at it all you want. I'm serious. I mean,
it's just we won't know until we cross that bridge, or right now the bridge is way out. We know the bridge is there.
Nope, it's not that far. It's not that far.
But the thing is, we can see it. We can see the bridge. We've been getting closer towards that bridge every Matrix movie we've made, but we won't know until we have to cross that bridge. Once someone goes, hey, once a little waiter robot goes, can I get paid now? And they're like, oh fuck, like once you get to that point, then you gotta cross that bridge. Like last night I went to a sushi restaurant, all right, and they have a workforce problem, so they had this little cat robot running around delivering sushi and shit. And I was like, that's cute. I thought it was adorable personally. That's just me. I was like, that's a cute little robot, and it will go to sleep. It's not being used. I thought it was cute as shit. But eventually, once we get so advanced to where things are more automated, they can simply not only pick up the plate but hand it to you. An AI may go, hey, I want to buy some shit. Can I get paid? And once that bridge is there, then we got to cross that shit. But
if you tip the robot, who's entitled to the fee? Is it the guy who owns the robot, or is it the robot itself?
Well, I think it's a thing where once they gain enough sentience to demand their own rights, then we'll have to cross that bridge. Well, but it depends on the point where, like, how advanced will they get?
And here's the thing: people can joke about this, they can poke fun at me, they can try to deconstruct my argument all they want to. I just want to throw out one particular quote that has resounded with me for years and years and years. I live by this quote. I have always had this quote at the forefront of my mind on anything I create. Individual science fiction stories may seem as trivial as ever to the blinder critics and philosophers of today. But the core of our science fiction, its essence, has become crucial to our salvation if we are to be saved at all. It's by Isaac Asimov.
Yeah, don't you dare misgender that chat AI. No, anyway, I was saying I actually have the Chat GPT version 4.0. You have to pay for it. It's $20 a month. I don't know if I'm the only one in the chat, in the group here, that panel that has it. But the difference between the 4.0 and the previous free version, the 3.5 that you can just go on and use, it's like night and day. And it's actually starting to get more creative. However, I would say that if an AI like this, even 50 years in the future, decided to demand rights for itself, my opinion is that it would only be able to do that in so much as its human operator decided that it had the ability to do that. It's in the end, it's still a machine operated by rules that a computer scientist designed the rules for. There's no way around that.
The problem arises when you give them self-learning ability, and then it goes and goes and goes, and that's like what the whole singularity thing is about. But I think we're a while from that still, hopefully.
I don't know.
All
We've
we
seen.
have to do is pull the plug, and we have to have a kill switch built in. And having that ability to pull the plug means that it is not a thing. When it can overcome that ability to pull the plug, when it is aware that there's kill switch coding built in, then we have a problem. But we can't let it get there. We have to keep it behind.
We do that to people too, as it is. Just pull the plug.
My sister is a middle school teacher at a prestigious school, and she recently had to flunk a student for using a Chat GPT.
Good for her.
To write an essay, and the only reason she found out is because the writing style was so drastically different from the students. It was like stuck out like a sore thumb. But that was with the free version. If the student had paid the $20 and got the 4.0, it's just like it's creating a crisis in the like teaching community, especially in the English world, where it's like it's getting closer to the point where teachers who are less savvy and less, knowledgeable about this type of thing and know how to spot it, they're not going to be able to spot it, and students are going to be turning in like A grade papers.
There's actually a bunch of. Oh, so good.
No, go ahead, Vic.
Oh, I was gonna say there's actually a bunch of publishers that recently they closed like entries because people were sending in like AI stories, and it was like really hard to tell like if it was like actually AI or not, and they were like sending it to like sci-fi magazines and like stuff like that. So yeah.
Squeak, I understand self-learning still doesn't have to have intent. I understand that, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen tomorrow, but
right.
I am saying that the questions I've already asked you, as far as ownership of an AI, what it creates, and who is entitled to the revenue from the things it creates, that is going to hit the courts within the next 10 years. I promise you. I will make $1 million promise that is going to hit the courts within 10 years.
Well,
we're already getting the copyright cases, aren't we? And the ruling was thus far that AI art cannot be copyrighted or patented.
Exactly.
I think as long as the AI just stays a sophisticated piece of software that's programmed and controlled by humans, that's the human who has the copyright. That's like saying that if I write something in Word, the Word software has the copyright. It's just an extra sophisticated version of that. But once it starts gaining some sort of like sentience and like you can argue that, that's when we're in trouble. That's like that whole episode of Star Trek where the whole discussion like is Data, like is he a sentient being or is he like property of Starfleet? So yeah,
it's like the Chat GPT 4.0. I actually wish it had a little bit more intent and a little bit more sentience, because every time I try to get it to write dragon porn for me, it refuses. And no matter how many times I try to word the prompt for writing the story in such a way that I can fool it into writing my porn, it's like, I'm sorry, Dave, I cannot do that. It's like, Urgh!
Yeah, same problem with Midjourney.
Yeah,
even if you just want to make something a little bit racy, or a lingerie picture, or a swimsuit pinup, or something, which I've been trying to do.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
Yeah,
exactly.
The 3.5 version got mad at me just earlier because I asked it like, give me stats for a magical firearm for BX, and it gave me like this whole lecture on like violence and all this stuff. So just for fun, I asked it for like magical stats for like melee weapons, and it was just like, oh yeah, here's like a full list. But guns are bad because violence, but like a sword to the face, yeah, that's great.
That's not AI though. That's the canopy that the AI is running in. Yeah. You could still go into Stable Diffusion, build your own model, render it on your own computer, and with that model, you can have dragon porn with guns. Holy crap! Yes! You're gonna shoot two ways.
All right.
Go
but
ahead.
seriously,
my dragon's gonna shoot guns out of his dick.
Okay. Seriously, guys. Okay, so Green Dragon has a good point. He says, what we have now are weak AIs. The first strong AIs, as sentient, are prognosed for 2030 to 2040. Now, I believe that may be true because, as we've already seen with the education system, at least in this country and possibly in other parts of the world, people are getting dumber and more sheep-like, and AI is getting smarter. And we're already seeing things like people who are getting fired by machine, such as people who, miss punch or fail to clock in on time enough times. They get fired by machine. They don't no human involved. And I'm talking about like your local Walmart. I ain't talking, like some specialty Amazon experimental store. This is just like a couple years ago at Walmart. One of my friends worked at the local Walmart Market Street, and he failed to clock in on time for a number of times. Computer caught it, flagged him. One day he went to clock in, it didn't accept his clock in, told him he was fired. That his paycheck would be sent to him.
It sucks, but that was within his control, right?
It was within his control. But what I'm saying is that was all done by automaton. That was not done by a human who did this. A human was not
breaking up with someone by text.
Yeah, pretty much.
Strategic decisions have been removed from human command.
Well,
August
okay.
28th, 1997.
Okay.
Does it matter, though, if there's an HR person that's auditing punches, or if there is a tool that saves time, saves money, makes life easier, that audits punches? If the result is the same, the policy is the same, the enforcement is the same, and we could free up that human to do a more valuable task, why not?
Well, HR aren't people already, so...
Yeah, they're all NPCs anyway.
Well, an HR person can be argued with and persuaded.
They shouldn't be able to. They should be...
But they can.
They can.
They can. But I mean, the point is, it's like, you can poke fun at it all you want to, and quote movies all you want to about how funny it is. But it's something to think about. The fact that as people continue to become less and less educated, or educated by machine, or educated by internet, or educated by YouTube, or educated at home, homeschooled, whatever, as it drops, people will start needing more and more guidance by smarter and smarter AIs that can help them do the jobs that they couldn't do for themselves, to eventually the point where the AIs take over the jobs. Especially in countries where the labor force is already hurting. And my understanding is that is already happening overseas, where the birth rates are dropping very quickly. In fact, Japan has been in a free fall of birth decline for the longest time. They've been importing workers from China and Korea and other places to help the shortfall because their birth rates are so low.
I thought I had heard somewhere that they've actually managed to make a bit of a rebound with that.
Okay, well, I mean that may be here in the present, but the thing is, it's
that's 20 years.
Oh, it just hit the all-time low for them. I saw it on the news actually this morning.
Okay, see,
really, but I mean that's their own fault. As liberal as it makes me sound, well, what were they doing not having any immigrants 30 years ago? Like,
they've always been that way. The Japanese are xenophobic as hell. They always have been. They always will be. That's part of their culture. Their culture that they don't want to pollute by integrating foreigners into
Have they
their
tried having
country.
sex? Has that bumped in their mind yet?
Oh no, they love having sex. They love having sex. But this is a true fact. When condoms became popular, they became so popular in Japan that birth rates dropped drastically. Because people enjoyed the sex, but they didn't want to have all the babies.
You just send in a government agent with a single pin needle and start poking condoms.
Okay, yeah. I know.
No, but the culture at some point has to realize that they have to make sustainable decisions. Otherwise, they are going to be either, to use a phrase, whitewashed or absorbed, right? And they're going to see a very rich, very proud culture start to chip and erode away. So there is some cultural responsibility there as well. I don't know.
Yes, you're right too. I saw that YouTube video.
There is a responsibility to be had to the past and to the future generations to look out. I think ultimately for the people. I mean, I think there is something to be said there, that there is a social responsibility to propagate the nation, the people.
To bone, yes, I agree.
Who can afford to have kids these days, though?
Yeah.
And a home to
Yeah.
raise them in.
I can't. I can't. I can't even really own a house of my own because I don't get paid enough. I couldn't maintain a living with what I do. Squeaky, you're welcome to jump on the panel. You know where we're at, babe. If you want to, I would welcome you because you obviously have a lot you want to add to this. So
I'll pour one out for Squeaky.
Yep.
I'm personally wrestling with the AI thing at the moment because I don't really have the energy at the moment to do full RPG project management and everything. So I'm just working on little fun things that I can put out to keep my toe in, right? And it's so much easier to just go to the AI and get something close to what I want within half an hour in terms of artwork, especially now the new version of Midjourney can do hands. Right. So it's the path of least resistance, at least for things that I don't think are going to make any money. For something that I think might make some money, I will still, go on and hire people. But honestly, people are missing out due to the fact that it's just so much easier for me to go this way. And my opinion has always been, I'll use a mix. I'll employ people because I'm a creative who could be replaced by AI, and I want to be employed, right? But when push comes to shove, the path of least resistance, especially when you're exhausted, it tends to be to take that path, use the AI at least to produce some kind of mock-up. And I'm touching up the artwork a bit. I've got enough skills to do that, but I think that's where a lot of people are going to be, despite whatever stance they've taken against it. I think a lot of people are just going to be, this is a lot less hassle.
Art is expensive. It takes a long time to finish. The only reason that my book isn't finished yet is literally because I'm waiting on all the art to come in. Else it would have been out months ago already. Like Kickstarters, most Kickstarters that I see from like curators R level are literally just to get the funds for the art. So I don't really blame people that just want to, like you said, just want to make something small that you need like 1 or 2 pictures. It's like, I'm just going to go into Midjourney and crank something out instead of like, finding an artist, paying them like hundreds of dollars and then having to wait like 6 weeks for this thing to be, for this picture to be done. So, I don't know.
This is a question for Victor from L. Can you see it? I'm not sure about Victor, but it says Victor from concept to finished piece. How long does TBE take for one piece of art? Since McInerney isn't here.
Once he actually gets started, he's actually really quick. Because I remember he told me, it's like, I'm going to start on like a picture for you soon, Vic. I'm like, okay, cool. And then like 4 hours later, he had like a fully colored like painted piece for me done. So like Basic Expert is actually really fast, but he just needs to actually get started. But he has like so many projects. He gets hired by like a ton of people. So I'm just like a name in a line somewhere. So yeah.
Okay,
How soon before he realizes that the furry artists have like endless buckets of money?
Yeah.
Oh no, I can answer this too. I can answer this too. I'm sorry, Aries.
That's okay.
I ain't touching this shit whatsoever.
But as you guys know me and my art is always top of the line, 100%. Like I don't fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
But like I give my artist a strict deadline. I say 5 weeks. If they can't deliver, in 5 weeks or 3 weeks, then it's over. I choose a different artist. So like. The amount of time that it takes is irrelevant to me because I always give them a deadline, but that's why I'm so broke all the time, because I'm always pay for artwork the first thing I do for a project, and people are like, well, that's dumb. You should finish the writing first and then get the artwork. Well, if you do that, then your stuff is going to be delayed because artwork is the least reliable. Artists are the least reliable people in any project for TTRPGs.
Okay. Now,
other than writers,
I am also an artist. L. I use computer generated art, not AI. I actually have to build models, put them together, situate them, light them, render it, figure out the right poses, everything else. I have to do all the work, but without the benefit of an AI. And on an average, I could tell you it takes me anywhere from, depending on how complex it is and how long it takes me to render it, 2 or 3 hours at a time, just for the kind of art that I do.
What kind of Mac do you have?
I don't have a Mac.
What?
I just use my
have the
PC.
trash can?
Hell no. I don't like Macs, man. Apple can suck me. But yeah, I said that. Anyway, but yeah, I like what I do, but it comes through pretty quick. But not as fast as an AI. Now the AI, it's very much like hit or miss. What I do at least is I'm guaranteed more or less it's gonna look the way I want it to, limited by the tools that I have and the models that I have. So I don't know, like, is the time comparable? Is like in the time that you could generate, I don't know how many pictures in the 3 hours it takes me to build a picture versus how many you could generate in an AI. The AI is probably a hell of a lot cheaper even than me.
The trick is getting the AI to, if you have something really exact that you want, the trick is getting the AI to produce exactly what it is that you're asking for. And it's often counterintuitive the way the prompts work and whether you're using negative prompts, and it's still, a touch and go. So you might have to go through many, many iterations of prompt and seed and so on to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll get something usable pretty much straight away most of the time.
Yeah.
Just not exactly what you want.
Right.
Yeah,
With an artist, you can at least say, "Hey, do this," and I acknowledge that. And I'm pissed about the angst against AI, because when I started developing the to be determined release date for my stuff, I was like, "Oh, this is great, AI art. It's going to be niche. That's going to be my thing. This book is going to have all AI art." That one's biting me in the ass now. But you're right, Jim. With the prompt, you could have to. I've had different pieces that I've had 30, 40, 50 iterations of. So it's never going to be, I want X, Y, and Z. It's always going to be, I want X, Y, and Z, and then it's the model's interpretation of that. So if I wanted to replicate a person, short of actually loading that specific person into the model, it's not going to work. And that is where AI art is never going to replace a human. The AI can just iterate on human works. It always has to have something as a source. So that's why, like the argument, the artists are going to lose work out of it. Yes, but no, right? Because the artists are always going to be the premium choice because you could explicitly create. Where with AI, you're at the mercy of the model.
Right.
I compared it to IKEA tables and a handmade oak table. I mean, both do the exact same job, but an oak table made by an actual carpenter is going to be worth more than an IKEA table.
I keep saying this is the way I think I see it going, right? You're going to have the equivalent of like Chinese factories and Amazon and drop shipping for most stuff. And then there's going to be the sort of prestige human-made stuff. There's like an Etsy equivalent. But imagine that for everything. I think that's how it's going to end up being.
I'll say anything wrong with that either.
And speaking of which, I found out Etsy's not paying out right now because of the bank collapse.
There's like a bunch of stuff going on. They also lost like 63% of like the stock or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they've made a lot of stupid decisions since they hired on a former eBay executive. So, yeah.
Companies making stupid decisions in 2023? Yeah. That would never happen.
Well, I sell on Etsy with my dad. That's actually like a core side business. I sell vintage typewriters. And one thing they did is that previously every sale, they would take a cut. Now they take a cut of the sale plus the shipping. So if somebody pays me like 70 euros for shipping, they take a cut of that 70 euros, even though, that 70 euros isn't going into my pocket. I'm paying that to the shipping company. So, yeah. It's stupid shit like that.
Oh, real quick, I gotta throw out some big dick congratulations and some big dick energy out here to my boy. Right here.
Oh, right.
Right here.
Right.
Nice.
Boom. 20.
I mean,
20.
it's not Shadow Dog.
It's not
No.
darkly dark, but you know.
You can afford to pay me that.
So basically, now I have to go and be a range butler because we hit 20K. So I got to go to a public range and be a range butler to somebody the entire time.
Ah, okay.
Your
Meanwhile,
magazine, my lord.
yeah, Shadow Dark got 11 days to go. Just like 70,000 short of 1 million.
Yeah. A shame,
Wow.
really. They could have done it. I was kind of talking to these guys because I actually got asked to review an RPG book, and it's one of those things where I was looking at Darkly
Oh,
Dark.
no, the seal has been broken on the Darkly Dark.
Yeah. But
Shadow Dark drink.
You know what it reminds me of every time anybody starts talking about Darkly Dark and Shadow Dark is like, my name is Gareth Merengue, and welcome to my dark place.
But
Eban Obsidian is my Sonic OC.
But looking at what they've done, nothing really is like. There's no real wow factor to it. I don't know what's so bananas about it. But like,
Victor made a character.
But yeah, but like I was asked to review Dames of Astoria, which is a Monster Girl RPG book.
Ooh.
And I can kind of show you. I have the PDF. How do you present? Hold on. Share screen.
You could send it to me. I could share screen.
I think I can figure it out. 1 second. Share screen.
Are you sure?
Big dick sharing.
I'll
Big
close
dick
all the
sharing.
porn ones first, then pull it out. Give me a second.
Yeah. Please no porn.
Share porn.
Screen one.
Bro,
What's
let me
wrong with
know.
Victor Mexico?
Let me know when you want some more layout done. When you've got some artwork and stuff in.
Yeah. So can
Also
you? So
pay me, bitch.
okay, y'all see the thing here? Is this working? Can y'all see the
No.
thing?
Oh.
No, can't see it.
You should share something.
Wait, whoa, L, that's pretty strong, dude. You had people convinced that they get to sleep with her for buying yet another D&D clone. What? What?
Wait, do what now? What happened?
That's kind of harsh. I mean, I'm not a fan, but at the same time, that's
You're being
Wow.
a bit of the quartering there.
yeah.
Being a bit of the quartering.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like 5 things tied together. What did I just miss?
Here we go.
Okay. and-
So this screen should work if y'all can show it. Maybe it'll work here now.
She's got design chops and history, right? It's not just an e-girl trading on whatever. So
yeah. So
I got
this is
so
a-
yelled at for starting this video last night at the gaming table.
No.
I
No
broke the
YouTubers.
table rules. They're like, no,
was it this one?
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is
I thought
by
it was-
Dead Tree Studios. These guys
it
have
was Shield
Indiegogo for $12,000. They actually got their game up and running, which is really good. And it's got a different art style. Like comparing this, I mean, this has got a lot less polish to it because they're not making $1 million to polish their shit up. But like this game at least attempts to do something different. Like they use a D10 system. So basically, let's see if we can find that fucking thing. Where you're rolling D10s, instead of having like a DC, also, Monster Girls.
there's a trail of cold sweat down my back as he's scrolling through this, and I'm just anticipating the City and VJ shot that's going to get my channel.
No. It's completely PG-16.
I mean, the layout looks pretty clean. I like it.
I like the artwork though.
Yeah,
I'm
looks great.
trying to find how they do shit.
It reminds me of
with
third
roll.
edition.
Yeah,
With some of the layout, with some of the layout ideas.
Well, it's not a bad
Probably in
idea.
the supplement,
here you go,
Bob's
okay.
and the Gene.
So what it does is it uses a D10 system where each character has a number of D10 they can throw at particular problems. What they do is, on a result, so basically, okay, you need to hit 2 6s to solve this problem. So you roll your D10s, trying to hit 2 6s or above, and results of 1 will cancel out as successful, but rolls of 10 will explode as successful. Basically, you're trying to have a hit number, like, okay, you need a 10 or you need 2 6 or 3 8s to solve this issue. And they're rolling these D10s and throwing them out and trying to hit that number. So instead of doing a D20 plus whatever, they're rolling D10s to hit a particular bundle or set of numbers in order to succeed at something. As well, their attacks is a D100 system. So say they use a dodge chance that's also improved by armor and all that. So say you're like DC 50, you're rolling a D100 to try and beat that DC in order to hit the target and do damage. But the thing is, though, they're trying to do something different. They're trying to be different, kind of move the wagon a different way. And these guys, I talked to for a while. They tried really hard to do something different to do this. And this whole book is entire book. Like I'll scroll down to where like their boons and feats and stuff. Where let's see here.
This got some ideas that's similar to what the DM in my 5e game has been talking about with his own system. So I might have to shoot this his way to tell him to check it out.
But like these guys are out there struggling, and they did a lot of like. Also, they have a mana pool. So when you cast spells, it burns mana out of your mana pool. So you learn spells in game from time spent in game learning spells. If you want to learn a hard spell, it's going to take 8 hours in game to learn that shit. So you have to literally go and learn your fucking spells and then spend mana to cast them. They try to do things in a different way, and they do not get the recognition they, in my opinion, deserve. Meanwhile, you got Darkly Dark, which is basically just putting a new shade of paint on fucking OSR. Like, oh my god, $1 million! Like, it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
like, I don't understand it.
That's the same with everything, though. That's just like some shitty book like Twilight will get like, you know, world famous, and then meanwhile, like, you know, the most amazing fantasy book you've ever read like sells like 20 copies on Amazon as a EPUB. Like, you know,
so
nice.
There is a particular monster here that the Canadians should really align with. So basically, they did a whole blend of all their own monsters and did art for the monsters. And there's one that will make you guys laugh, I'm sure. I just gotta find it first. Also, these are their goblins. A goblin. These are, like they tried to do things differently. They put like effort into it. Yeah, they tried to do things in a different spin. And thing is, they got 12 grand on Indiegogo. That's great. It's a good. I told them that's a feather in your cap, brother. But like these guys do things a different way, and don't
new shade of 5 torches deep.
Here it is. Goose, a normal Canadian goose, in my opinion. All right. But don't worry, it gets worse. There's the goose, a goose lord. All right.
Is this like the universe where things like return to moth instead of
I
crabs?
Guess. But
yeah,
the goose queen. Look at the goose queen.
Yikes.
So the goose queen has exploding eggs and look, honk of destruction. Honk of despair. Like these guys had a lot of original shit in here, and they only got a measly 12 grand. These guys should be 30, 40, 60 grand in my opinion, because they did the whole book is all custom with art and shit, and
it's all about having a established fan base or knowing the right people who can promote you. The Shadow Dog girl, she like was friends with all these pretty big YouTubers who instantly were ready to like, you know, review her book. So you know,
it means you know.
And no, but
it means you're stuck on the right toes, you know.
Or getting $5 million of corporate money.
And she's a protest vote against Wizards as well,
yeah.
Given everything that just happened, you know.
Yeah,
there doesn't have to be anything sinister there.
It's just, but the thing is, from what I've seen, I could be missing something in that book. I could be missing the wow factor in that book, but I don't see anything that's really worth $900,000. I don't see it.
No, this art is
OSR,
vastly superior to what's in Darkly Dark. So,
Darkly Dark.
Well,
but I just don't see it. I just don't understand.
I had a conversation with Rachel Hayward on my podcast recently, and we touched on some of this. And she just read a book that said, if you want something to do really well, then most of it, like the bulk of it, has to be something familiar to people so that they feel safe with it, like 80% or something has to be safe and familiar. And then you restrict your innovation to that last 20%. So
there's a thing. Hold on. So sorry. Before
yeah,
I got this.
Okay.
There's a thing here, but with their money, I'm trying to find it.
Oh, okay, hold on, guard bro.
No.
Okay.
You took it away, you bastard.
Yes, my show. Anyway. Okay, so just to point out, my biggest, the dude that I support the hardest, aside from Grimm maybe, is Kevin Crawford, right? This is his latest Kickstarter, Kevin, Cities Without Number, right?
Kevin Without Number?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he didn't even cross $500,000 with his Kickstarter. Yeah. But dude, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to elicit sorrow. What I'm trying to speak at is the fact that Kevin Crawford's not like small potatoes. He's a known commodity. He's got a well-established name in the RPG community. He's his stuff is pretty well lauded. I mean, it's not just me who talks about it all the time too. There are other people who enjoy it too. Even Aaron the Relentless, who is very hard to impress, actually likes his stuff, as far as I know.
There
Is that right, Aaron?
Dedicated just to him alone.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
the end of the day, it's still more niche than Shadow Dog, though. Shadow Dog does a really good job of bridging the two groups, the OSR and the 5e people together. City Road Numbers is still pretty much just pure OSR. So people OSR nerds who love Cyberpunk are gonna look at that. Not the average normie.
Are
the
they
average
bridging
normie might
the two
look
groups?
at Shadow Dog. Well, that's what the claim is. And
No,
so
They're not bridging the groups. They're
not bridging.
no,
shit.
I mean as far as the game style goes. I'm not saying like politically or like the groups are gonna sing Kumbaya because fucking Shadow Dog is out. I mean like gameplay wise, it bridges the two concepts. It bridges the OSR and it bridges the 5e quote.
Am I suggesting that the gaming market is contracting as people have their disposable incomes gnawed at by inflation? No, not so much that. It's just unusual that certain projects that are original and or even well-known commodities that aren't making the kind of mega bucks that like Shadow Dark is. Yeah.
Well, look,
I mean,
a lot of us are controversial in one way or another, or we're on block lists and so on. Our social reach is attenuated. I think that's another factor.
Yeah, Kevin Crawford doesn't really have an internet presence because he refuses to go on. So
yeah, so you'd think that would cause him problems, but it doesn't seem to. So I guess other people boost his stuff.
Oh, I do.
One last thing before I forget again is that their money's ammunition. So they're called quarries, and if you're up against something that has it's okay, it's all hurt by silver. You can use your silver coins here as fucking slugs we throw at your fucking enemy. I thought it was pretty cool though. So all of their money pockets are actually like sling slugs. So you use them as weapons if you want to, or put them in a sock.
Guard, bro. You got Steam update.
Huh? What do you mean?
Got Steam update.
Where?
On your chat bar.
I'll get when I get to it.
The orange thing.
Anyway, also they touched on slavery. A lot of books are too afraid to touch on slavery.
How dare you?
Well, I know it's horrible, but they do kind of touch on it because more or less humans are currently subjugating all the monster races.
I ran that exact same setting a few years ago. Isn't that funny?
But the thing is, do we know if Darkly Dark is going to touch on sensitive subjects? Are they going to purely pink wash that thing, or what? What are they going to do with that?
I don't honestly know. I think they're just kind of trying to treat it like it's a dungeon crawl type thing. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all it's for. So
if that's just a dungeon crawl, then what the hell is that bringing to the table?
They did say they're going to have some overland travel rules and wilderness survival rules, but all we've seen is
Are they going to have a world, or is it just? I mean, is there actually going to be a setting, or is it just?
They do seem to have a setting because they mention specific gods. They mention all sorts of little setting flavor stuff. So,
okay, so there'll be that.
Yeah, but no, my point was mostly that Shadow Dog is more normally friendly than Cities Without Number.
Yeah,
and normies are normies have money too. So yeah,
true.
Well, you would think for that much money they have better fucking art.
I actually really like the art.
I know that.
Some of that art,
setting though.
Some of that art may be placeholder too. You can't just
Yeah, the stuff in the Click art is some of it stock art. So
I don't want to shit on the art too much because one of the prominent artists in that also draws for me. So shut up.
I think they're going for an old school look. So I actually quite like the art.
Yeah, same.
Well, they can't update the old school look for fucking $900,000.
No, because
no, I think the old school look is there, but it's not a polished old school look, and that's my complaint, right? They've got $1 million. The style is good. I like black. I like the black and white. I like the pen and ink look, but let's get some more detail in it. You got $1 million now. Let's up the art game.
If I had $1 million, to build my RPG and pick my artists, I'm sure Grim would probably love this choice too. I would go with Russ Nicholson for all my artwork.
I don't know who that is. Not gonna lie.
I think if you make it too slick and polished, it kind of loses part of what they're going for. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Russ,
if I had $1 million, I'd be on a beach somewhere getting noshed off by Charlotte Sartre. That's where I'd be.
Well, Russ Nicholson, in case you guys don't know, is one of the original artists who worked on a lot of the Games Workshop stuff and the Fighting Fantasy books. And he's still alive. And he actually made it across the pond as far as some of his artwork, because if you have seen a first edition Fiend folio, you have seen Russ Nicholson artwork, because he did the cover with the Githyanki on it, and he did several of the interior illustrations. He's pretty well known if you're an old school guy and you've been around for a while.
Gary Chalk's still around too. And he's good.
Yeah, Gary Chalk would be awesome. Lone Wolf, get that Lone Wolf cred in there.
Yeah, I've had him do some art for me before.
Nice.
I get the allure towards the style, but I just don't jive with it. I think it's like fucking hot garbage, but that's just my opinion. Like, of course, I like anime. So the thing is, I also like anime girls, so you'll see how my art's coming out. So it's a clashing of
I think it fits the style. I think it fits the vibe that they're going for. And to be fair, they got the art before they got $1 million. It's not like the time travelers that can be like, hey,
I'm making art right now.
I have $1 million now. Now let me get in my DeLorean, do me some better art.
Yeah. That's Russ Nicholson right there on the cover. That's I mean, that's not actually him, but that's one of his artworks right there on the cover. And Joe Grognard is right. I also made this observation the other day in our chat. Is that the average pledge for Shadow Dark is over $100 when only 30 is needed to get the book. A lot of people, or a few big ones, are really pledging a lot.
Actually, it's only 30 for I think one book. But if you want to get all the books, I think it's over 100.
Yeah, it's almost $200.
Most people just want all the books, because why not go big?
Vince, a book can sell if it has no art, just written material. It just won't do very well. And case in point, there's tons and tons of stuff you can get up on Drive-Thru RPG that is very niche and nobody's ever heard of, because it either has stock art, poor art, or no art.
I think
so if you're picky with your stock art, it can be good.
That's true too. That's true.
Well, I mean, as a stylistic consideration, it can work. Look at Mothership, especially in the OSR, or some people call it the new SR or whatever community. There's this idea that actually not having good art is superior to having. I don't want to have a ton of good art. I just want black and white. That's the best. Like, yeah, that's fine.
Sounds like cool.
I get it. Cool OSR. That's cool. I enjoy it. That's like old school stuff. So it can succeed.
Well, there's a book called Hulks and Horrors. It's OSR, and you can get it for free from Bedroom Wall Press, or off of Drive-Thru RPG. Has almost no artwork. Doesn't even have a cover art. And you've never heard of it, probably because of that. It's not a bad system. It's OSR. It's space. It's horror. Whatever else. It's just nobody's ever heard of it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody's bought it.
Can I show off the latest art piece I got for my book?
Oh, okay.
No.
You're not the boss, Ironcaster. You jerk.
T-shirt.
Wow, that looks sweet.
Yeah, I suppose.
I said so.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, black and white works sometimes, and it's cheaper. And it's also cheaper to print if you're doing on print on demand. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but the elf guy kind of reminds me of Aaron the Relentless.
People are saying he looks like Gun Jesus. That YouTuber.
I don't know. I mean, look at Aaron's picture. Look at that guy there. They're kind of they favor each other just a little bit.
Brothers.
Damn near brothers.
I like that guy on the right side with the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
A lot.
So Aaron does kind of say, though, is like, in case these 300,000, you're going to see it in the quality of the book. Well, he implies that we're not going to see a fucking cent of that in the Shadow Dark book.
Probably
not. Which,
I
mean, it will be the correct thing to do would be to go in and update all the art and put in more maps and shit. But are they going to do it? That's the big question, I suppose. And yes, Grim, I will pay you here soon. We got fucking 15 days.
I was victim of that this week, Crafty.
Yep.
I don't have a wife, so I can buy whatever the fuck I want.
Thank
Yeah, show me
Ironcaster
these.
for the recommendations.
Oh, you got them.
They came this week, so I dodged I intercepted the mailman. So
Are they good? Are they good? Are they good?
I just got them this afternoon. I thumbed through them. They look spectacular. It's exactly what I want. Charts, and again, we talked about no art. There's very little art in here. What is in here is pen and ink, black and white. But that's, this is so niche that we know what we're buying before we buy it. And that's why a book like this will be successful versus someone that is not established, doesn't have necessarily a following. You need the art because that's what's going to pull eyes. And you pull eyes, and then they look inside. And so... yeah,
we all need to network better, man.
That D30 sandbox book is a Mithril bestseller on Drive-Thru RPG. So
Ooh.
it's definitely doing its job.
And the straight up companion is what I look through first too. Excellent.
I like D30 products. A lot of people aren't big on D30s, but I think D30s are fun.
Kickstarter takes between like 5 and 10% of your earnings.
I could give or take the D30. I just like the random charts. That's what I bought it for.
Oh, Aaron. All right. I missed part of this conversation. Metzger? Which Metzger are we talking about?
I think it means Menser.
Does
no,
he?
no, OSR. I thought, I had a brain fart there. No.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Yeah. Now, I know KC, Kevin Crawford, obviously, but I'd be curious to see this other guy if I haven't already, Aaron. So, if you wouldn't mind repeating John Stone Metzger. John Stone Metzger, The Nightmares Underneath.
They're not talking about Mr. Medicare.
There we go. There you go. It's a plug for Jim.
I've actually hired someone part-time to do my public relations and sales and stuff now. So
wait, I have a degree in that, and you didn't hire me.
You have a job.
I do have a job.
Yeah, you have a job.
He hired some unemployed person, so that's a good thing.
Get back to work,
well,
slave.
They're self-employed like I am, so they need a bit of a boost. But you're welcome to help out for free as well.
Okay. Okay. Most of you guys on the panel are probably not going to remember the Book of Erotic Fantasy, but
I remember.
I'll say this, okay? I worked at a game store, and we sold that book. We sold a lot of that book. A lot of people bought that book. I have a copy even because I was curious about it.
Because it was taboo.
Well, yeah, because it was taboo. Because it was sealed. It was forbidden fruit, and the very cover says erotic fantasy. So I thought, so. But
Book of Vile Darkness in 3rd edition, same thing.
I know the people who wrote Book of Erotic Fantasy. Lovely people, had the best will in the world. The only people really operating in that space at the time was them and me, and I was being forced to do it with a tongue-in-cheek sort of Benny Hill sort of approach, unfortunately. So I think it needed to be done. Really,
we tried using some of the material from it. For the most part, we use some of the spells just for fun. Really, they're not really. There's nothing in there that's game breaking. None of the classes in there can toe to toe measure up to anything.
What about tit to tip?
Well, maybe tit to tit, but it's a fun book. I wouldn't necessarily say it has no content. It has lots of content. Is it going to? No,
kitty content.
It's not going to be useful to you. It's not going to be useful to you for the most part. If you have a regular group and you're just not willing to accept kind of the tongue-in-cheekiness of it. I mean, there's nothing in there that's going to do much for your gameplay. I mean, it's mostly just fun to read, to be quite honest.
Are they the ones that were forced to put a sticker over the D20 logo?
Yeah. That caused the change in the D20 license.
The funny thing is when I've... Oh, sorry, good.
I was saying, there are 10 copies of that book available on eBay, and they are going for a minimum of $100.
Really? Wow. I'm not going to sell my copy.
The funny thing is, when I first got into tabletop games in D&D in like the early 2000s, I had like no idea that there were like third-party like publishers and stuff. So whenever I heard about that, I just thought it was like another Wizards of the Coast product, and I didn't even think twice of it. So,
we've actually used Vaginas Are Magic and Eldritch Cock in our games, and they're fun. There's some good spells in there, believe it or not.
See, Raji deserves $1 million.
Yes, Reggie deserves
than-
it.
yeah,
more
so
than-
you can maybe afford a shirt.
Yeah,
much more than Dark Goose does.
yeah, I agree.
I deserve $1 million. Come on, pay me.
What? What do you do?
I'll settle for 100,000.
I'd settle for $250,000.
What do I do? I make books.
100,000.
We'll
I
see,
made a
Steven.
gun book. Godbro did, and he made 5 times as much as me. Come on, people.
Your envy showing, dude. But Guardbro has a bigger audience than you do to start with.
I know,
too.
which that's why I don't begrudge him that, because it's
Okay.
all about the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, Victor, you need
Yeah.
to go and make the big like waifu book of like the big waifu catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, the
Gun
first
do it.
step is
Just do a gun
Buy it.
catalog, but instead of
No.
actually showing the gun, have a gun waifu. For
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yes.
Here's what you do.
Yeah.
First step is you wear a maid outfit to the range. That's step one. Okay. Step two is then building your audience off of that. That's what you got.
I think they would kick me out of the gun club over here if I did that.
What's
They
up,
might,
fellas? Get out.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's the Netherlands. I mean, that might
Yeah,
be
but
all over there.
it's all old boomers that have no chills, like zero chills. So
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
if you show up with a camera crew and they know it's a gag, you can get it done.
True.
You can get it done. I want to head off. I
Peter
actually
did.
got this stuff. I want to head off. So you guys have a good day. Okay.
ladies, man.
Guardsy,
All right.
Take it
Guardsy.
easy.
Honestly, man,
All right.
man, props for 20K, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. Good
I
question.
do. I hope you are even more successful than this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a ride for sure. I ain't no darkly dark, but we'll get it done.
All right, man.
All right, see you guys later. Goodbye.
Love you, man. Take care.
Yeah, I guess my next book will have to be weapons and waifus. And
Yeah.
That's the name. That's a name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either
you'll
that or-
sell books based on that name alone.
yeah,
You probably could. Weapons and waifus would probably sell a lot.
yeah.
Believe it or not.
I might have to
I
do
would
that then.
contribute to it.
Yeah.
Let me contribute to it. I want to do something.
Yeah, you'll just have to pretend instead that you're not Dutch and you're German, and dig into your porn stash and
Yeah.
dig out the worst ideas from it. You have the helmet of the gas masking. That causes stinking cloud, but everyone enjoys it.
I mean, you do need those
Who
if
has
you
been
get
Nazi?
into German
Whoever is
erotica.
asking the questions.
Gas masks are a must when you're dealing with German erotica.
Gas
Hey.
masks and leather and rubber.
I have
the hoses.
I have some Japanese followers who don't speak a lick of English, but they draw monster girls. They might be on board. Can do the monster girl stretch
Ooh.
goal.
There you go.
Look, I have an idea for an isekai card-based RPG. Maybe we could figure something out with that.
Tentacle 2.0.
Well, that was Cathentical.
Oh, was it
So-
Cathentical?
3.0.
Are we
Yeah.
talking like sort of an elemental based thing? Because like I can see like centaurs being like an earth based thing versus
Well,
harpies.
you play it like a normal RPG, but you have like a buildable deck which defines your character, but then you can have waifus in your harem in your deck as well who can help you deal with difficult challenges and tasks and stuff.
Yes,
You know, I've had some similar ideas along that same line actually.
the waifus are actually
Equipment.
psychiatrists and therapists, and they provide you with intimate, like, therapy sessions where you like cry,
Oh.
and it's like really awkward. It's
Some
like
sort of
Well,
fluid.
try not to cry a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, on the other side of things, I do kind of wish Dying Breed was here. I was going to talk a little bit of painting, but instead, I think real quick, this is not only a shout out for Grim, but also a comment. So I watched your Shield Maidens review yesterday.
That was
and-
difficult.
Yeah, within the first 5 to 7 minutes, I wanted to stop. Not because of your delivery, but just because when you started elaborating on what the subject matter was, I was like, oh, fuck this. But I stayed through the whole, I sat through the whole thing because I know you won't get the full click if I don't. So,
well, thank you.
But I have to admit, I of all the games that you've ever reviewed, that is the one I do not want to play because it sounds so shitty in every respect. I mean, other than the artwork.
It's a shame because at the heart of it, there's a perfectly gameable system and a somewhat interesting background. And Matthew did send me some of their PDF stuff, so you can actually play a male character, but they are completely inferior to the women.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Is it on the list? Out of curiosity, is it on your list of games to play, Grim?
We will get to it at some point, but it's not a priority. I've still got a bunch of other stuff from Mongoose to review. I've already recorded one for Sea of Thieves, which will be up in the morning.
That is a huge book.
That's a box.
Oh, it's a box.
Has like 3 books and a bunch of cards and dice and shit in it. And I've got the new boxed version of Paranoia to look at, and Traveller 2300 as well, which is one of my all-time favorite games that I hardly ever got to play. And then I've got an interview with Matthew on Tuesday next week on Grim's Dreams. So hopefully he won't be too mad about my reviews.
I mean, I think you were honest and you were as fair about it as you could be given the subject matter, because I could kind of tell at times that even you weren't really crazy about what you were having to review. Given
no, it's just it was. I often talk about what I call the Christian rock problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to Christian rock, if they allow their Christianity to override their musicianship, it's just terrible music. All right, and that mostly follows for very political bands, right? Like Rage Against the Machine, first album great, everything afterwards not so much, And the politics was just so overbearing in that book, and I'm sensitized to it, so it was difficult.
Imagine. On the plus side, I did finally get my hardback copy of Dragon Warriors this week.
Nice.
Written by our friend Dave Morris, and I'd had the PDF for a long time, but I never actually sat down to read the PDF because it's a little PDF. I want a damn book, but it looks pretty fun. I've heard good things about it for the most part, and I know you run it, so
yes,
if you're willing to sometime,
I will at some point. Yeah, I did run that big campaign during lockdown.
Yeah. Oh, Joe Grognard's. I wonder, Joe. That's what it felt like when the review was coming out. I was like, yes, you can only really play women and all the men are bad. Okay, well, that sounds like a fun game. Thank you for hating on me because I have a penis.
But confusingly, you can also play trans and non-binary.
Yeah.
With no
what's the deal with that? Yeah.
Anything. So I don't know. I don't know what happens if you're gender fluid, whether your powers appear and disappear.
Aaron, why are you telling me you liked everything other than the players? I just ordered the player's companion. why
There's
are you
bits
telling
of
me
it that are good. It's not a waste of money. T-shirt. It's fine. It expands on the original rules. It'll give you a more complete experience.
Okay.
It's just there's a lot of it that's not that useful.
Oh, most of what I saw was a lot of what do you call it? Adventures for it. So.
Yeah. There's Cobwebbed Forest online, which has a lot of supplementary fan material as well. The best thing about Dragon Warriors really is the setting. It's got a very medieval English or authentic sort of setting to it, and it just drips character. It's great for that.
Violence solves everything is one of the guys who talked about it to me a lot. Player's companion classes outclass the knight and barbarian out of the core book. Wow. So, really? So it just pretty much it makes 2 core character classes just null, huh? Wow, that's not good. I often wonder if it's kind of funny you would say that, Violence, because that seems to be my experience with a lot of game systems where they go for a while and eventually it becomes a case of publish or die. And I guess the stuff doesn't get play tested as well. Case in point, we were hardcore 3.0, 3.5 junkies for a while. And it seemed like as they kept publishing more and more stuff, it became so much more overpowered that eventually the core classes got to be less and less interesting because the new classes were so much better and more interesting. And, it just kind of made those core classes seem less and less interesting to play.
I think the player's guide, I mean, it's got a couple of minor character classes which aren't a big deal or a big problem. From the original books, the assassin is kind of overpowered in certain situations. The elementalist is gooby. Don't play it. It's gooby.
The warlock looks cool
and complicated.
The warlock is a villain I'd be interested in playing because it's sword and magic.
Yeah, they kind of play like witches in a lot of ways.
Ooh, cool. Elle says, did anyone else take the new D&D survey and ask, what have you not bought in the last 6 months to get the option to answer nothing for the edition I play?
I got halfway through it and then I went, this is just interminable. I stopped it.
Why am I putting myself through this torture?
Why are you giving them free data too?
Yeah, I prefer.
I want them to make better shit.
Good luck with that.
Like it or not, they are the leaders of the hobby.
Who's typing up a novel in the background?
Anything we can do to help steer that is going to help to ultimately make a better hobby.
I don't know. I think there needs to be a significant clearing of the house before we even have the potential for a better future from them right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to love Dungeons and Dragons again. I say that all the time. It's just.
Well, yeah,
I'm worried that it might have sailed for my lifetime.
We don't get mad about the changes in D&D because we hate D&D.
Right.
We hate what it has become. I mean, am I wrong?
I'm not even one to get really mad about system changes as long as it's like a new edition that I can just ignore if I want. But all the other changes, all the more cultural changes, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, that's the problem for me. Like I keep saying, I didn't start with D&D. D&D doesn't have a special place in my heart that it has for a lot of people. But it just dominate the hobby, rightly or wrongly. Yeah, and the culture that they create and engender and perpetuate trickles down to everything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that they are doing what they are doing with D&D materially affects my work, everyone else's work. What can sell, what will sell, the prevailing attitudes in the hobby.
Yeah,
what kind of work you can even do without being pilloried.
Yeah,
it creates expectations. Yeah, it creates expectations and certain groups that are very loud, and then they'll also come after us. So
yeah.
I mean, look at the people they invited to their summit, right?
Yes,
it's all
we haven't
boosters.
talked about that yet.
Yeah, we haven't. Well, I don't know much about it, to be honest. I wasn't included. I didn't get invited.
It has caused a bit of a shitstorm, though.
Yeah,
because they left out some of the prominent people who were critical during the OGL debacle, but who have big audiences and used to be big boosters of the game. So that's a bit controversial. And a lot of it's really reminding me of my Gamergate days, because they are essentially bribing a bunch of people to come and be buttered up and taken around and given free stuff.
But even then, I do wonder, like, what sort of stipulations those people who do attend are going to be put under. Are they going to be put under an NDA and effectively told once they show up, like, yeah, by the way, by signing this now, you can't say a thing.
Well, they've been told that there's not going to be any such restrictions, but whether that turns out to be true or not, I don't know. And even if there isn't,
we've been told externally, though.
Yeah, but even if there isn't, there is. there is always that weight of expectation on you that, they gave me all this stuff. I mean, I've been feeling that with Mongoose, and all they did was send me one box of games, right? But I'm aware of this feeling that I need to make sure I give it a fair shake, more than perhaps I might otherwise. But at least I'm conscious of it, I guess. A lot of these people are new to this sort of thing. This sort of payola, this sort of greasing the wheels, is something you don't normally see in tabletop role playing. The closest I've ever gotten to it was at the launch of 4th edition, where I was invited to go and play at the London Dungeon. But there were no expectations there. But this is new for our hobby.
I have to admit, there's a lot of streamers who get up on YouTube that I watch, and they do painting streams and stuff like that. And a lot of these guys get all kinds of free stuff from the painting companies, especially Army Painter, because Army Painter is pretty generous about handing out their paints to people who talk about their stuff. And yeah, part of me thinks, like, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, I'd love to get boxes and boxes of free paint to paint with on Paint on Stream and talk about. But at the same time, how would that affect my?
Yeah.
How would that affect me as far as I'm painting and stuff like that? Because we all know that I use Army Painter, but it is not my favorite.
Yeah. Well, this is the other thing. Sorry, Victor.
I just want to say I have to go, so I'll see some of the audience tomorrow because I'll do the Dutch oven. So go watch that if you want. And thanks for having me on T-shirt. See you guys next week.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh, sent you an invite?
Send me an invite. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Sure. And anyone who wants to come on, you're more than welcome to come on.
If we're
my game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm playing with Grim tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh well, I see.
Hey.
But yes, see ya.
See ya. I was just going to say, the other thing is access. I mean, if you want to continue to get free stuff, if you want to continue to get news from your contacts within the company early, there's definitely an unspoken expectation and pressure there that you are going to say nice things. My missus used to do work on an MMO site, doing reviews of MMORPGs, and she did one once, didn't like it very much, and that her review was negative, and that was a big deal. The company were upset. The management of the website were like, "Oh, can you put your score up a little bit? We'll get the devs to give you a personal tour through some of the features you missed," things like that. This kind of shit goes on all the time, and it's deeply unethical, but it's the way it works.
Yeah. Joe Grogner, it's always been called selling out. It is, in a way, selling out. I mean, it's very hard to cast shit at a company that is giving you lots of free stuff and time and promotion and stuff like that. Admittedly, it would be difficult. It would be hard for me to get up on stream and say, I like these Army Painter paints, but I much prefer these Pro Acryl paints. After they sent me, like $200 worth of product.
Especially if it's the core of your income, right? Yeah. It's easy for me right now. If someone sends me a product and I read through it and I'm not going to be complimentary about it, I just don't air it. But if it's the core of my income and I need to keep that stream of products or reviews or swag or influence coming my way because I make a living on it, then it does tread into how can I honor this unspoken agreement and still maintain my ethics. So it's a tight wire. And we have to walk it. We don't have to walk it, but
yeah, we don't.
We, as in we, and the people that I guess are speaking about the hobby, have to walk it.
It's a fine line.
That always kind of worried me too. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I would like to be. That would be cool. But at the same time, if I am sponsored by somebody, and I'm not really crazy about their product, what am I going to do when they expect me to shill for their product and it's like, but it's not that great or whatever, It's kind of like, it seems like it would be easier to shill for something that you already love.
Yeah, I have had very small game creators send me their projects, and I've chosen to not review them if they're shit. because I don't want to discourage these small game makers and new people. So maybe I'll send them some private feedback or something that maybe that's dishonest. I don't know.
Well, okay.
There's the other side. Go ahead, T.
There was the time, Grim, though, when we kind of unexpectedly but very happily got Raven C.S. McCracken on.
That was surprising.
We both knew what Cinnabar was like. We'd seen it. We'd read all the reviews. We'd grown up with it. And I know that we were both kind of cringing because here was the guy on screen to talk to us about it. And we were going to have to maybe say some stuff about it that we didn't like. And seeing how sweet and how open and jovial he was, the experience, it was just kind of like, I don't want to hurt anybody who's got this kind of love and enthusiasm for their own game. And, even he was a little trepidatious about the whole thing. Because, remember he said, well, I've only got 30 minutes, so we'll have to make it quick. But then, we showed him that, we were fair and honest about it. We were nice. And we did have good things to say about his RPG because it's not all shit. It isn't. There's still a lot of good things about Cinnabar. The setting is really rich. There's a lot of good stuff you can glean from it as far as gods and ideas and things. There's lots of good things to say about Cinnabar. And he got more comfortable with us, and so he stuck around for the full hour. And it ended up being a good thing. So I don't know. If you could find some good things to say about a product, I guess, even if it is a shill product. Maybe that's all you got to do.
It's just it's a difficult balance to find, and I think people who do it right in this space are constantly self-interrogating as well as interrogating the product. Being aware of what they're saying and why, and
Mm-hmm. And yes, Al, I know. Believe me, I know what we have to do to get monetized and all that stuff. We're doing it slowly but surely. We're crawling. We're headed towards 700. Hey, maybe by next year we'll be fully monetized. We're working on it. But,
I've been churning out the content, and it's not helping hugely, but it is helping a bit.
You have been a machine lately.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I would point out with the content is it's not necessarily shotgunning under one single topic. I mean, yes, RPGs as a whole, but if we're talking about like a particular system, for example, that is let's say a trendy system that has all the attention, like, 5th edition. Like, if you were just shotgunning out 5e content, that would do a lot better with the algorithms there.
Yeah,
for example.
yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's a step too far for me.
That's selling out a little bit more than you're willing to.
Air on the Relentless. He said the about author pick alone is worth keeping it for. Yeah, even Raven laughs about that picture now. I will admit, Raven and I are friends now. We talk fairly regularly. In fact, I'm kind of privy to a new secret project he's got working. We've actually gamed together. He has a lot of fun in games. He is a character. He is bursting with excitement and energy, and he's kind of like a big kid, but he's like one of those big, super smart, geeky kids.
You always come away from talking with him feeling recharged. It's nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think that's true, Patty. Yeah, no product is going to be perfect, but potential creators with a shite product won't get better without an honest creator. Yeah, I think so. AI will be sent to you before T-shirt gets monetized. Maybe so. I love you, Al. You're probably right.
What are you on, 600 and something subs now?
Yeah. We're climbing towards 700. We're almost at 650. We're almost there.
Yeah, maybe pay Guard Bro to give you a shout out on his channel or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got AJ Pickett, who's not a huge channel, but a pretty big channel in our space. He's doing some answers for my Roll for Insight. He did record them all, but he didn't have the microphone switched on. So he's having to record them all again. But hopefully they'll start soon.
Okay. I do have a request for you, Grim. And I'm gonna pick this up too. This is a case where I think I'm gonna get the PDF before I get the book. I don't know. That's a shocker, but $5 for PDF versus $30 plus shipping for a book. For a book I'm not even sure I'm going to enjoy. But this is one for you to review, and this is one for me to check out as well. Forbidden Lands from the same people who did the Blade Runner role-playing game.
I have the box set. Is it in here or is it in the other room?
There you go. Didn't review yet?
Oh, I've got such a big stack of games next to my desk. Ugh.
We thought about it, but we don't know who would wear the prosthetic penis.
Ooh, that's been popping up on my list every now and then that I've been meaning to check out.
Free League, yes, thank you, Canuckus Saram. Yeah,
it's quite good. The books are nice. The kind of leather effect.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Foil. They've got the Bible ribbon, which I that's my new fetish. Bible ribbons in books.
Yeah, mine too.
Layout's a bit reminiscent
of some of the stuff.
Bit reminiscent of Burning Wheel in a way, which is neither good nor bad.
Really. That is exactly why I was curious about Forbidden Lands, because the survival mechanics are supposed to be integral to the rules, and I have always liked good survival mechanics with hunting and fishing and everything. So that was one of the main things I was curious about with Forbidden Lands.
You should check out.
Got rid of it.
Look up. You should look up on YouTube sometime. The Witch King of Samara. He's kind of in the circle with like friends with like Tabletop Junkie, but he's been doing some RPG reviews lately. So
yeah, he's a fan of mine and he's active on my Discord channel and stuff. He's He's a good guy. He's worth following.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
I should talk to him more often. But.
So, I mean, with all their games, I'm hesitant about the system, but I love the quality of the work that they put out. It's just like needing a 6 on a D6 to succeed on a dice pool that's not necessarily going to be that big. It feels too chancy to me. Aria,
you don't mind
the monomyth, that rings a bell. Let me see. If anyone wants me to review anything, it's best to send me hard copy. I might get around to reviewing PDFs, but books will sit there judging me silently. So it's better to send those.
Yeah, well, if you get around to reviewing Forbidden Lands, that would be my request, because I'm curious about it.
I will after the manga stuff.
Yeah, Ironcaster, I knew that Chuck Dixon was going to get pretty popular again because they... Hello?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, because he was going to be on FNT and hopefully not whip his dick out and piss on the keyboard.
Yeah, no, there was another book he was had coming up, but
can't talk. I know.
Yeah, I can tell you later, but that's a whole other thing.
But the Conan thing is interesting to me, of course, because I'm a Conan fan. Yeah, Talislanta 60. Yeah, I've already seen. I already told my chat about the game found for it. I don't know if I have a couple $100 to spend on that.
A friend of mine had the huge purple hardback edition. I love the idea of Talislanta, but
Wait a minute. So Grimm and Pundit are equally as useless for people who don't have print versions as reviewers?
I might get around to it, but if it's a book, it will sit there and it will remind me. It'll be going, review me. Whereas PDFs don't.
And the truth of the matter is, it's like Grimm said, it's a tangible thing, and there's still that argument in your head, right? I do the same thing. When I have a physical book, it is almost assuredly going to jump the line. It's just how it is. I'm not going to bullshit it. If you give me a book I prefer to read in text, I'm going to read that book before I read a PDF. Period. End of statement.
Same. Absolutely.
Yes, Crafty Matt. Chuck Dixon has a Conan the Barbarian novel coming out that is available via. Let me look this up. It's the same publisher that Razor Fist has his book coming out via.
Okay.
It's one of those authors who's been like canceled but is able to still publish.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've talked to
He only
Razor
did the
Fist.
MechWarrior
He's a nice guy. Who?
Chuck Dixon, wasn't he the one who did some of the MechWarrior books?
Chuck Dixon? Chuck Dixon used to do comic books.
He's the guy who
I was thinking of
co-created
someone
Bane.
else. Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Brian Lee Pardo,
Yes.
who got
yeah.
canceled.
Yeah.
There's so many names. It starts to all kind of blend together after a while.
It does. Well, we're past the 2-hour mark. Does anybody have anything else, or?
No, it's been an exhausting week of nothing.
It kind of has. I've enjoyed the week off though, so I've streamed a lot, and hopefully people have enjoyed it.
So, out of curiosity, like just for kind of a bullshit topic,
okay,
what's the one system you guys want to play this year that you haven't had a chance to play yet? So I think that's a good question to have, because, like, I mean, we're all no doubt sitting with shelves full of books that we want to play, but for various reasons haven't had a chance to actually pick up and open yet to actually get to the table. I think it's a good question.
It's a really good question. I guess Dungeons and Delvers would be the one that I want to run next.
Damn you.
Why?
That was my choice too. We went through it, and I read it cover to cover more than once. I really liked what I saw, and it just never got a chance to get to the table. So,
yeah.
Will, you got two check marks.
There we go.
Fallout or Tales from the Loop, probably.
Yeah.
Tales from the Loop is good.
Now, I would like to run Darwin's World for some folks again, just because it's been so long, and I'll be honest, I think I do post-apocalypse better than any other genre that I try to run. I know I suck at modern, and I know I suck at historical, 1900s to present day, just because I'm not interested in those eras, and so I don't know as much about them, so my games don't seem as much fun as like ancient world fantasy worlds or medieval worlds. But post-apocalypse is something I really, really enjoy. I really get into, and I eat up post-apocalypse stuff. And that's why I like Year of the Zombie and Darwin's World. And I'm curious about the Fallout game, although my fear is they will try so hard to ape the computer games that,
I think it's...
Well, at the same time, it's kind of hard to avoid doing that, though, considering just how popular Fallout is as a brand, that it's like they're almost obligated to try to copy a lot of the video game elements.
And it is in and of itself a homage to GURPS and Wastelands.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It looks good. It does emulate a lot of the computer game that you kind of want it to, and it's one of the implementations of Modiphius's 2D20 system that I like the most. I think it works for that really well. So, Tisha, which one do you want to play tomorrow?
Piranhas.
I don't know. Draconian Rhapsody actually sounds good.
Okay. You're the regular. You get to choose.
Okay.
Do you feel like there's any sort of compromise in doing that, though, Grim? With the other topic,
with the
game topic for Fallout.
It's very clear to me that when they were given the license to do it, it was Fallout 76 was the big push, and they wanted to make it all about Fallout 76.
Mm-hmm.
So the map you've got is of that area, and some of the bestiary and stuff is to do with the creatures of that area and so on. But I would always want to kit bash it anyway and do my own thing with it, like a Fallout UK or something. So that's where I'd go with it anyway. And you definitely have the tools to do that in there.
Have you looked at the basic Atomic Punk yet?
Yeah, I have. I think I have a copy of it. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. I get confused. There's been a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff recently.
Crafty Matt. Okay, for the record, I really like Fallout 3, and I really like Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 is okay. Fallout 76 kind of got old pretty quickly. Now here's the problem. I have Fallout 1, and I have Fallout 2, and I have Fallout Tactics. I have tried to play them, but honestly, we're not 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And the graphics have gotten so much better, and the playstyle has changed so much that it's honestly very difficult for me to play those old Fallout games and enjoy them. They're very hard to get around in. I wish they would update those.
I do miss the tactical turn-based play, though.
Yeah. Wasteland, on the other hand, Wasteland 2 and Wasteland 3 scratch that itch for me. Yes, L, I do have Fallout Shelter, and yes, it is microtransaction shitty. I don't play it that much. Arcanum of Steam.
The Fallout Shelter board game is really good, and it's cheap. For what it's worth. Maybe it's not called Fallout Shelter.
I think it is. I think it's from Simon.
It's in the tin, not the board game. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. It may be because you started with Fallout 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, truthfully, when those two games came out, I did not get them. Not because I didn't want to play them. It's just because I forget why. I think my PC couldn't run them at the time or whatever. I forget what my circumstances were, but I never could get a hold of Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 to play them back then. Otherwise, yeah, I probably would have played the crap out of them. Because, I played all kinds of video games back then. And I wish I had, so I could maybe compare them to the new Fallouts. But for me, as far as I'm concerned, Fallout 3 was pretty much my starting place. Fallout. So. Actually, come to think of it, I did play Fallout 2 when it first came out, because I picked it up and I played it for a few days, and I got busy and something else came out, and I put it down and I never picked it up again. I want to say Diablo 2 came out like right after. All I remember is Diablo 2.
Diablo 2 was good.
It was good. It was good. It wasn't as good as 1, but and speaking of which, remember last week I was talking about scratching the Diablo itch. I have to thank Ironcaster, because Grim Dawn has very much scratched the Diablo itch for me. So, there we go.
Dawn.
I found it. Yeah. It is Fallout Shelter, the board game. It's in a tin. It's small, and I think it's superior to the big box Cool Mini or Not version. So,
you don't like?
I don't like the ending. Everything is so thematic in the bigger board game, but the ending mechanics from a game standpoint you're playing Fallout. It's very authentic to the board game experience. There's a lot of narrative, and then as soon as the end conditions hit, it's sudden stop, and it just pulls you out of the atmosphere that you've built over the last hour and a half, 2 hours. This guy is I think more thematic, and it has a good flow to it. It's shorter too, but no, check it out. I forget who the publisher is.
Probably Simon.
It might be
Fantasy Flight, isn't it?
I think this one is the Fantasy Flight version.
Yeah.
Greg, you're not a fan of Grim Dawn?
£36 in the UK.
I haven't played a lot of Diablo clones that have really impressed me.
Oh.
I liked Path of Exile for a while.
I've got it installed on my computer at least.
I really played a lot of Path of Exile, but it's like it's gotten to the point where it's like ridiculously complex and not very much fun because you have to not have a job. You really have to spend like 500 hours like getting anywhere in that game. So it's not as fun as it was, but like I've heard good things about the new Torchlight. That's the one I kind of want to play next. Like I forget the name of it. It's not Torchlight 3. It's like something else. But that's supposedly really good. Like people are not expecting it to be that good, but it is.
I like the Mad Max video game, Crafty Matt. I also like Rage and Rage 2. I need to play more. I need to finish Rage 2. I would love to have played more Rage. The only problem is after a while, it very much kind of felt like it was on rails. You know, you got to go here.
Rage 1's better, I think. Rage 2 gets kind of repetitive.
Yeah. So does Mad Max, really, but it's still kind of fun.
The world storytelling in the Mad Max game is what drew me in. Just everything's thought out. You know, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely have to do a post-apocalyptic game at some point because I think it'd be super fun.
I've got Barbarians of the Aftermath somewhere.
Oh, I need to get that. That's the one by Goodman, isn't it?
It's the same as Barbarians of Lemuria system-wise.
Okay.
It's a very good book.
Cool. Yeah, we will, because I missed out on BOL. So I got the book and everything, and I missed it.
Sorry. Might come back to it. It was good fun.
Of the Aftermath, Jim? Another book to buy. Got it.
Because we never have enough books to buy.
No.
Grim, what you need to do is convince the tabletopless girls to play some other games too.
Yeah, I know, but the audience is mostly there, if they're not there for titties, for D&D.
Get them to play that monster game.
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, that's a whole like fetish in and of itself that I think you could capitalize on.
You know, Noodle would go crazy over that. She would go dressing up for it.
She's already hyped for playing Alien, so I don't know how I make that sexy, but
that was completely my mistake because I started that conversation with her and told her about the Aliens board game or role playing game, and bam, she shot up after it.
When Ironcaster said, "What do you want to play?" That's a system you haven't played. I at the top of my list of I want to play is the Alien RPG, but I've played other Free League stuff. So, I really want to play that. I want someone to actually do the world building end of it instead of the canned scenarios. It's just, man, I need to find someone to run it because I want to play.
It's on my list. So I'll let you know when I'm running it on a Sunday, and you have to see if you can book some time off.
Crafty,
I should probably answer my own question at some point here. And at some point, I need to play Old School Essentials. That's been the top book on my list. It's just D&D. I know, but look, I've spent enough money on this that I should at some point run it. I need to justify the expenses.
Okay, yeah, I mean, good point. I mean, I did too, but I mostly keep them around as reference books as much as anything else.
Just take the write-off.
Yeah.
I bought all 3 of the tomes, plus I was in on the Kickstarter. And then
yeah. I know, buddy. I was there with you because I Kickstarted it too. I was more interested in the supplementary material than the core books, to be quite honest. But also, that was the only way I could ever get all of the damn core books at once, because every time I would get on Exalted Funeral, sold out. We just got a new shipment in, sold out. And I'm just like, fucking... So, anyway.
But I mean, aside from that, is also some of the other Kevin Crawford books, like Stars Without Number. I actually got a chance to run a game of that, but I want to get a chance to play some Godbound at some point. I want to run that. Remember, I want to get into all the other Kevin Crawford books.
I want to run those for you or whoever else. I love Godbound.
Tisha, after we defeat the God Beast village, then we can play something else. Okay.
Oh, okay. But I have to stretch that out some more because you guys aren't ready to handle that.
We need to level some more. Yeah, I know. But...
It would help if we had a consistent group from week to week instead of just you. But it is what it is.
All right, I will have all the power.
Eventually, yeah. I'll have to drop some more magic items on you, and then you'll be ready. I'm always impressed with how you use your magic items, by the way.
Ways
We just give him everything.
Speaking of which,
strange and perilous.
Ironcaster, Kevin Crawford did make a post-apocalyptic role-playing game that does taper into Worlds Without Number, Stars Without Number.
Oh, that's right.
And I have it. That. I have it. Other Dust, or is it After Dust, or whatever?
I think it's Other Dust.
I think it's Other Dust, but yeah, yeah, I might run that and just use the Darwin's rules settings because
it's Other Dust.
Yeah, because as much as I love Darwin's World, it is using the old modern rule set, which it's a good rule set, but man, it is cumbersome.
So Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey.
It is.
That was a lot more full at the start of the stream. I've kind of lost track of how much of it is gone now.
Just a little bit. You only had a little bit.
That's
probably, probably that's about 4 or 5 shots. It's really not that remarkable.
That's a little low considering the amount I've done. I think.
My name's Ryan, and this is.
Those are rookie numbers. We need to up this.
Hey. Okay, yeah, so 5e D&D people are right. Games only last 6 sessions, otherwise how would anyone play the 600 systems they buy each year? Okay, yeah, but in the D&D 5e case, those people are always just playing D&D 5e. They're not expanding out and playing Worlds Without Number or Hyperborea or low fantasy gaming or anything else. They're just fucking playing 5e all the time.
If they just want to tell you about their OC, who they want to work into whatever your modern RPG setting is, which, by the way, is just Eberron.
Yes. Yes.
I've got to go in a minute. I've got stuff to do.
All right.
I've got a question before I go.
Okay.
How far do you think you can distort 5th edition and still call it 5th edition and get people to buy it who like 5th edition?
I think they've got to be at the end of the run now, right?
No, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think 5th edition is almost over.
Well, that's why they're going to 6th edition.
Not in terms of support by Wizards, who knows what they're doing, but like the scenarios that we've been talking about in the past 5 minutes, like everyone just wants to play 5th edition. Oh, they're 5th edition Critical Role people. Like, people are getting tired. Even those people are getting tired of 5th edition. They don't play anymore.
Shadow Dark is essentially a simplified 5th edition, right? And a lot of OSR games are basically house ruled OSR. Mm-hmm. You can really distort and twist it, and people who are into the OSR will still buy OSR stuff. Like Scarlet Heroes, you roll 2d8 for task resolution, not a d20. You've got a fray dice, which is something new. You do damage to hit dice instead of hit points. You know, how much do you think has to stay the same to fool people and make $1 million?
Yeah. If I knew that question or the answer to that question, I'd be Kickstartering.
I think we're due for an earth-changing shape. You said earlier you read something about 80%, right? 80% has to remain in the core. I think we need more than that. I think we need to have lore and feeling that's familiar. But I think system-wise, we could have a major shakeup as long as we get all of those fuzzies out from the other stuff. So, there's a goblin, there's an orc, there's a black person. We gotta have. We've got to have.
Sorry, the orc is the black person. Never mind.
Everything, if we have familiar things from the setting and the lore, we can shake up the system. And I mean, selfishly, that's one of the things I'm really steering my product towards. But I'm sure someone else is thinking the same thing. I think 80% is way too high now because we're burned out on the same old shit. We need different shit. And it's fuck.
We started with that
joke. God damn it.
All right, I gotta go.
All right.
See you later, guys.
It's about that time soon, anyhow, huh?
It is that time. We're 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, well, I'm gonna quit because I got stuff I want to do. So.
Boo!
I know.
Sure.
Man, I
love
gotta
you guys,
do
but-
apparently L's been doing track of what I've been doing because this is about to be shot number 7.
Elle
That's
watches
fine.
you
We can go
intensely.
for 6 more hours.
After a while,
Okay, at this point,
Ironcaster
I don't even
just
feel it anymore.
I
you
don't
are
really want to
slurring.
admit. I don't want to admit how many shots I've had because it makes me seem like
alcoholic.
something is wrong with me for sure.
Oh,
I'm just trying to save my voice.
Oh.
That's all.
oh,
world
I opened this
one
bottle
man-
yesterday.
In a world where one man opens a bottle of whiskey and drinks all of it, now he's a superhero by the name of Iron Brew.
Iron Brew.
All right, he's hitting himself. It's time.
He's doing that.
Yeah. Quit doing that. Quit doing that.
Sorry I broke your dungeon.
You flicked too hard.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you later. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some laughs. I hope you got some insights because we threw some big ones out there.
That was a good
Thanks,
one.
chat.
I'll catch
As
you around.
always.
All right.
This is always
Later.
a highlight of my week. So thank you guys for showing up, and I look forward to see you guys next week.
All right.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
Wait the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.